2002. godine i sa sobom doneo 30 godina iskustva rada u NBA, ABA i italijanskoj ligi. To iskustvo mu je samo išlo u prilog kada je u decembru 2003. godine, posle 18 meseci, postao prvi trener ekipe. Napredak od 33 pobede u odnosu na prošlu sezonu donosi mu titulu trenera NBA-a za sezonu 2004-2005. Ovo je drugi put da se trener Mike D'Antoni nalazi na klupi nekog NBA tima, pošto je pre Sansa radio u Denveru u sezoni 1998-99. Takođe bio je asistent u timu Portlanda za sezonu 2000-2001. i radio je kao skaut u ekipi San Antonija u sezoni 99-2000. Kao trener u italijanskoj ligi svake sezone svoje timove uvodio je u play-off i proglašen je za trenere godine 2 puta. Sa tadašnjim Milanom osvojio je kup Koraća u sezoni 1993. a tim je vodio od 90. do 94. Najveće uspehe ostvario je s ekipom Benettona koju je trenirao od 94. do 97. osvojivši kup Evrope i kup Italije u sezoni 1995. kao i titulu prvaka u Italije u sezoni 96-97. posle skora od 22:4. Između ostalog, gospodin Mike D'Antoni, kao što ste već upoznati sa programom, danas će održati i 2 predavanja. Prvo predavanje na temu igra playmakera, posle čega ćemo imati jednu malu pauzu, a onda će gospodin Mike D'Antoni nastaviti svoje predavanje na temu filozofija igre Phoenix Suns.
Dakle, hvala vam što ste ovde sa mnom danas. Znate, mogu bih da govorim na italijanskom, ali verovatno ne biste razumeli. Mogu bih da govorim na engleskom, pa samim tim mislim da ćete me razumeti tako. Mali akcent na engleskom, ali ja mislim da je to okej za vas. Jedan od razloga da su se stvari dosta dobro razvijele, što su me igrači razumeli ono što sam pokušavao da im kažem. Želeli su da govorim o samom načinu igranja i filozofije koje koristim u Phoenixu. Filozofija je ista koju sam primjenjivao u Benettonu u Italiji, ista koju sam pokušavao u Milanu kada sam bio mnogo mlađi i nisam mogao tako dobro da obavljam svoj posao. Kao trener pokušavam da se poboljšam, da naučim stvari i da sve to primenim na svoje igrače. Phoenix Suns, oni su želeli da ja govorim o našoj filozofiji. Ja mislim da je ona ista za sve. Pokušavamo da postignemo sve više poena i što više možemo. Pokušavamo da odbranom dobijemo što manje poena, jer mislim da je to ono sa čim počinjemo pre svega. A kako to radimo? Imam jedan sistem koji ću vam pokazati i koji volim da primenjujem i primenjujem i prilagođavam igračima. Kako se oni menjaju, tako se i ja menjam. I mislim da svaki igrač ima nešto što može da ponudi. A i na meni je da ja njemu omogućim da to da. Jer moja greška je ukoliko taj igrač ne igra dovoljno dobro koliko ja želim da igra. U Phoenixu ja pre svega govorim o svem ono što se dešava na terenu, o kontranapadu, odbrani i sve to traje 2 minuta, a to je ono što mi igramo. Odbrana, napad. Možete da sednete. Oni će pokazati na jedan određeni način, ali ja neću da treniram sa njima, jer trening po meni. Mi moramo 100% da primenimo trčanje i ja ne govorim igračima koji igraju. Zato što je jako teško na nekom seminaru prikazati sve to. Ja znam da košarkaši moraju da imaju odlične osnove. Imamo ovde jako puno juniora, trenera juniore i ja ne umem to da prenesem njima. A ako ne umem da prenesem, onda sam u problemu. Znači, kad dođu do profesionalnog nivoa, moraju da imaju to osnovno razumevanje. A ono što ja ne mogu da uradim je da ih naučim da igraju bolje nego što mogu. Prvo, govorit ću ono što mi radimo. Naša osnovna filozofija je da mi radimo sve na 94 stope i to radimo jako brzo. Odbrana je najgora u prvih 5 sekundi kad se preuzme lopta. Ako možemo da postignemo poene za 5-6 sekundi, onda šta se dešava? Ako spustimo loptu dole, odbrana će biti bolja. Kao trener možete da učite kako se odbranjuje, koja je loša strana. Ako stalno trčite, onda je odbrana mnogo manja. Jer kad mi treniramo trčanje, ne hodamo. Kao trener, ja sam najsrećniji kada ne trčimo celu utakmicu. Ja imam sistem koji primenjujem u organizaciji i činim da to sami igrači rade. Znam da za neke trenere da ih to izluđuje potpuno. A trener, mnogi treneri moraju da imaju kontrolu. Ja to ne radim. Ja sam srećan zato što sam vidio naš, koji je moj trener na samom terenu. Tu je bio Saša Đorđević koji je znao. Znam Sašu kad je bio u Milanu. Imali smo zonsku odbranu, zonski napad i oni su govorili, Saša nikad ne trči kad imamo dijagram. On bi svaki put uradio ono što on hoće. To je bilo dobro, zato što je bio bolji kad nije radio ono što sam ja crtao na dijagramu, jer to nije umeo da izvede. Ono što ću ja pokušati da naglasim, ono što hoću da uvek moji igrači znaju je osnova. Gde se nalaze igrači na samom terenu. I to je ono što znači u celoj igri. Ako imate dobar prostorni sistem i ako imate dobre igrače, imat ćete i poene. I zbog toga ne volim bilo koji napad koji pokriva zonu. Meni se to ne sviđa. Imam 11-godišnjeg sina i on je upao zbog mene u nevolju. Jer došao je sa treninga i kaže, tata, pokušali smo da uradimo flex odbranu i ljudi nisu mogli da se sete šta je ko treba da uradi. Rekao sam mu, nemoj da se brineš. To inače nikad ne funkcioniše. Sljedeći dan, on igra, trener kaže mom sinu, kreni u flex, a on kaže, ma to i onako ne funkcioniše, neću ni da trčim. I zato morao sam da se izvinim treneru mog sina, ali sigurno neću ovde pričati o fleksu, kako da idete u blok, jer svi to bi trebali da znaju. Ali ću govoriti o prostornom snalaženju. Imamo 5 plavih igrača, 5 belih. Počet ćemo sa plavim. Plavi. Jedan ti visoki stani u korner, ti na centar. Idi na polovinu terena. Govorit ću o kontranapadu, ali kako budemo trčali na terenu, imam mesta koje će svako od njih da zauzme. U većini slučajeva želim da mi centar, da visok igrač koji ima jednu samo ciljnu metu, da trči duž side linije centra, može da trči gde hoće. I mora da shvati šta je dobro za njega. Dva krila odavno se počelo igrati da trče po ovom prostoru, ali za nas je bolje ako idu u korner sa strane i da trče do kornera. Playmaker, ja želim da zauzme ovaj prostor ovde ili u ovoj liniji. Ja ne želim da on bude u centru, ja želim sa strane da bude. Da može i ovaj centralni igrač da shvati kuda on treba da ide. Onaj koji je u skoku ili koji treba da prebaci loptu, on treba da dođe, da ima prazan prostor ispred sebe, a ne da bude u centru. Ako pogledate teren, ja stojim ispod koša. Ja ne želim da ispred sebe vidim puno tela ispred sebe. Ja želim da ih vidim izvan sebe. Ovde imam playmaker koji ima mogućnost da dođe do koša bez mnogo ljudi oko sebe. Ako se nagužvam ljude, mnogo je teže da on postigne poen. I zbog toga, to je većina, uglavnom ono što ja radim. 1000 puta mogu da uzmem i knjigu i da gledam šta treba da se radi. Ono što je važno je da uspostavimo prostor koji svako zauzima. Mnogo puta igrači kao što drift. Teško mogu da stoje na tom mestu. Krenu, a kad krenu tako, ja vičem na njih da se povuku, da se vrate na mesto i da puste da ja igram sa svojim playmakerom kada se... Mi kad počnemo sa treningom radimo neke od ovih stvari. Najbolji tim koji sam imao, svaki igrač je mogao i morao da igra sve. Evropa, posebno Jugoslavija, je bila dobra u tome što su imali dobre momke koji su bili mirni, bili su visoki divac u Evropi, to je Sabonis. U Italiji, oni su bili ti koji su pravili tu igru. Ja ne volim visoke koji ne umeju da naprave tu igru, znači koji ne mogu da skaču, ne mogu da... Oni su mogli da trče, možeš da budeš ovde, ako je on tu, još je bolje. Ja volim da on krene i da trči sa strane. Imamo playmakera koji ide, kreće napred. Ako je on dobar, za 5 sekundi može da postigne poen. Svi ostali im pomažu, a on može da slobodno šutira. To nije teško. Što su bolji igrači? Naravno da ste i vi bolji trener. To nema sumnje. Odavde krećemo u pick and roll. Najteža stvar je uraditi to u košarci. To stalno koristimo na različite načine. Ako su oni uslovljeni da idu u pick and roll. Ovo je obično visok, ovo je šuter koji će doći ovde.
one thing he can do.
Jedna stvar
As
koju
he
on može da
runs,
radi.
he comes right back up,
Kako trči,
sets
vraća
a
se
pick right here.
i
And
staje
now you have a
ovde.
big guy,
Imate
middle of
još
the
jednog
floor. You come off,
visokog,
come off.
on
And
ide
now you have
ovuda, a ovo je vaš,
a big guy's
vaš
got to guard
igrač
this guy.
koji je visok
can't
će
do it.
sigurno
He goes
braniti
around,
ovog
And
igrača.
now you're spaced,
On se okreće
and you hit,
i sad
you got what
imate,
you want. So we use all kinds of different
koristimo
ways.
različite
He can run that.
načine. Može da
He can run,
igra
reset
to
from here.
ili
Sorry,
kad
wait.
kreće odavde,
Come back over here a little bit. Come back, you're back here.
vratite se.
This one I like the best.
Ono što najviše volim je da kad dođe iz ovog ugla,
And you're right here in this line. He's got the ball.
da
I'm gonna
dođe
pick it up.
odavde.
You're right here.
Ostani tu.
I like this pick right here.
Meni se
He can
jako
go
dopada
either
taj
side.
pik.
It's not quite on the side, but I hit him from behind. If I'm guarding, you're back here.
Ako ja
I'm
branim,
here.
ja
He
sam
can set a
ovde.
pick either way.
Onda on
He can
može
step
da
off that
postane
side, he's
sa
got
ove
me,
strane.
or this side. All right,
sa ove ili
it's
sa
up to
ove.
him to play.
Jedna od mogućnosti koje
A
može
lot
da
of times
igra.
we'll set a flat screen. He'll move
Može
to
da
left. Guard this guy for a
postane
second.
blok
Guard him. When he comes, come on
kad
down.
naiđe,
I'm here, and all of a sudden it's there.
odjednom stane
Or
ovde
I'm here,
ili sam
and
ovde,
I'm there.
onda ću
And I
se
hit it. And when he
namestiti ovde.
goes, is
A
very
kada
important for
kreće,
a pick and roll.
vrlo je važno za pick and roll
separation. We talk
da se
about
dođe do
separation.
odvajanja. Mi govorimo o
As soon
odvajanju.
as I hit this guy,
Što
I've
pre,
gotta go.
čim udarim ovog
So you come
tipa,
back.
moram da krenem
Go
dalje.
that way. I'm here.
Evo
As soon
ovde
as he goes
sam.
by, I'm gone.
Čim on prođe, ja
further I get
prolazim.
away,
Što se u više
the
udaljim,
easier for the point guard to pass the
mnogo je
basketball.
lakše
If
njemu
I
da
stand or hit,
prebaci loptu. Ako
gotta
ja
do
stojim
that,
tu,
it's dead. I
tip
gotta
koji
get
će
away.
stajati tu je potpuno ubijen.
And we talk about that all the time.
Zato o tome stalno govorimo.
Other pick and rolls, which we do a lot.
Drugi pick and roll
You
koji
come
mi
down,
radimo,
you're down in the side. This time,
staneš sa
let's
strane.
say he's not going to pick and he's just running the floor.
Recimo da on neće da
with the big
i
guy,
ovaj
you're
samo
back here.
stoji.
You're back, and he's going to run, puts his head to the basket. And
Trči,
if we can hit the ball in, we'll
usmeren je
do that
prema,
sometime. I don't
prema
love it,
košu.
but we'll do it. If he's
Meni
good
se to ne
enough.
dopada,
If
ali
not,
uradit ćemo to.
I want
Ako
this
ne,
man not to
hoću
stand
da
here.
on ne stoji
He
ovde,
stands in the short corner.
stoji u
I want him back
ćošku
here.
i želim tu da
We
stoji.
have the floor open.
Onda imamo potpuno
This guy
otvoren
now
teren.
might do a pick and roll
Sad
out top.
ovaj
He's a
može
shooter.
da krene
He
u pick and
comes,
roll, on
you
je
go,
šuter,
and then I'm rolling, you're coming
onda,
up.
onda on
just
može
try
da uđe
different
u...
things.
I onda
See what works.
prolazimo s raznim varijantama.
But we always keep, I don't like to post people up.
Ali
I just think
ja
that
jednostavno ne volim da
clogs it
držim
up.
ljude
Now, if I have a good post
na
player,
centru.
I will do it sometime,
Ponekad to radim,
and
ali,
I'll orchestrate it, and we'll call a
ali
play,
ja hoću
put him there.
i
But most of the time, I
jednostavno ne
want him
želim.
out. If they don't
Uglavnom
give him the
želim da bude
ball,
izvan
if
tog
he's here, he
centralnog
doesn't get the
dela
ball, you move him a
terena.
little bit, doesn't get it, you swing it,
Ako se
And I want him
nema loptu, želim
comes here.
da
behind the
prebaci,
defense.
da bude iza
That way,
odbrane.
if I'm playing defense, stand right
Kad ja
there,
igram odbranu,
then I've got to look
onda moram
like
da
this. I got to
pazim i
keep my
da
head. If you're
držim
standing here,
pogled
stay right
na, ako je on
he
tu,
stands
stane
right
tu,
here, it's easy for me to guard.
onda mi je
I
jako
can go
lako
out,
da
I
branim
can box out,
koš.
I get the rebound, but if he's back there, then you're in trouble. I can't see. So now I
Ako je on
got
tu,
to
ne
back.
mogu da ga vidim.
Somebody got something? No.
A,
So I go back, I just can't see.
znači nije u mom vidnom polju.
So it's best to do that. Thank you for saying, thank you. So we talk about spacing all the time.
Znači govorimo o spacingu.
Other things that we talk about is moving the basketball.
Druga stvar koju pričamo je kretanje
I
lopte.
don't want a player to hold the ball.
Ne želim da čovjek guši loptu.
And sometimes we're guilty of that. Steve Nash sometimes over
Steve Nash
dribbles.
ponekad to radi.
As good as he is,
Koliko
we
god je on
have to
dobar,
continue to harp on him about moving the basketball.
uvijek mu pričamo da on mora da kreće loptu.
We're always driving
Uvijek idemo na ulaz
and always kicking.
i vraćamo
Try to
loptu s
take
polja.
all shots with 2 feet and shoot the basketball.
Sve šute pokušamo da šutamo pravo ka košu. Okrenuti pravo ka košu.
Yeah. Turn this mic up. I don't even think it's a mic now. Going closer? Sorry, guys. Got it? Is that better? Sorry about that. I have to start over?
Počnem iz početka.
Also, I'll show you a couple of things. Coming back out, I'm sorry.
Pokazat ću vam još neke stvari. Vratite se nazad, molim vas.
Who's my point guard?
Ko je play?
I had a guy in the corner.
Čovjek u
Big
uglu,
guy here doing that corner.
čovjek na postu i ovaj drugi na
Coming
uglu.
down this one.
Ti se vrati nazad. Iza nivoa loptu.
Another thing we like to do, and we move players around because also,
Još jedna stvar što radimo i krećemo igrača okolo, jer odbrambeno,
if you keep everybody in the same position,
ako se svi nalaze na
it's
istom
going to be easy to
mjestu,
scout you.
bit će lakše da se brani.
The happiest that I am every time in Phoenix,
Svaki put u
we
Phoenixu
start the game off and I draw a play.
igru sa nekim set playom.
The play is something we always have,
Nešto što uvijek radimo,
but you draw it up.
ali nacrtati na tabli.
But I'm really happy that 5 minutes of the game goes by and they haven't ran the play.
Ali ja sam srećan ako 5 minuta je prošlo i nisam igrao. Oni nisu odigrali tu šemu.
There was coaches in Europe,
Trener u Evropi,
when they try to get our tapes
kada pokuša da uzme naše trake
and see what we do,
i vide šta mi to radimo,
they have no idea what we do.
nemaju pojma šta mi to radimo.
The reason being, I have no idea what the players are going to do.
Razlog je što ja nemam pojma šta će igrači da urade.
And I'm okay with that.
I to nije u redu.
Because if the players pass the basketball,
Jer ako igrači dodaju loptu,
know their spacing,
znaju svoje pozicije,
are unselfish,
su nesebični,
then you'll have good offense.
oni imate dobar napad.
If the players clogged up,
Ako su igrači zajedno veoma blizu,
if they run plays and don't know why they run them,
ako zovu neke setove koji ne znaju šta znače,
offense will just be so-so.
napad će biti polovičan.
A thing that I really like to do, to show you that we do as a team,
Ti vam pokušaš šta radimo kao
clear
tim.
out.
Ti prođe na drugu stranu,
Go ahead, get up top a little bit right over here.
unese se tu gore,
Get right in the slide a little bit back. Okay.
nazad.
We try to keep the spacing,
Znači držimo taj spacing.
and we'll come down. A lot of times we'll try to run to the corners, but sometimes we have two players on the same side,
Pokušat ćemo trčimo
That's
gore,
okay.
ali ponekad imamo dva igrača na istoj strani terena, to je u redu.
and they'll stay there. I
Neće
don't like
ostati
to
na istoj
cross them.
strani.
Sometimes
Ne želim da menjam
we'll
stranu.
go across, but I
Ponekad ćemo menjati
don't
stranu.
love that. Steve Nash, or the point guard,
Steve
will
Nash
see
kao play
this.
će vidjeti ovo,
Cool. He'll come. When
Krenuti.
he comes here,
doći ovde,
let me have that. I'll be the point guard. He's
Yes, okay.
coming. You'll go the short corner,
ideš u kratak ugao
and we play out of this. When I come,
i idemo
do
pet rana.
this. You go hard.
Kada prođem, ti se krećeš ka košu
And as this guy comes up,
i
he
kako
is
se penje
always
posta,
open. Always.
on je uvijek otvoren.
Because usually most coaches
Jer uglavnom
rotate
Velik-
big to big.
veliki broj trenera rotira velikog igrača na velikog.
So if I'm guarding him,
Ako čujem
you
njega,
do this,
kako
you
igra pick and roll,
come, I
mi
come
dolazi,
here.
ja dolazim da pomognem.
A big will go to a big. This is
Pošto
the
je veliki
4
igrač.
guy, this is the 5 guy.
Četvorka i
To
petica.
hit him. And as he comes
Čekam
up,
ga i kako sam penje gore,
he's always open.
on je uvijek
Always.
otvoren na postu.
That's a Mari Stoudemire. When he gets the ball
A
there,
Mare Stalamer kada dobije tu loptu,
nobody in the world can stop him.
ne može nikom svetu da ga zaustavi.
Himself. But that's-
Samo on sam. A to je druga priča.
But we use that again, spacing, keeping these guys out, and keeping the court wide.
Znači to držimo spacing i igrača široko.
Does anybody have any questions on this?
Neka pitanja?
Yes. We can't play zone now.
Ne igramo zonu.
Other team plays zone.
Ako drugi tim igra zonu,
You know, in the NBA we can't play zone. Everybody
NBA.
plays zone, but you can't play zone.
ne možemo da igramo zonu, ali NBA ti igraju zonu.
I don't worry much about a zone
Ne
because
brinem o
zone
zoni,
to me is bad defense.
jer zona je meni samo loša
You just
odbrana.
stand around and.
Samo
hop
stojiš
around.
okolo i skačeš.
But if you spread the floor,
Ali ako raštiriš igrača
you
po
can still
parketu,
set pick and rolls.
i dalje možeš da igraš 2 na 2,
You still penetrate the same
Možeš da
thing. We
ulaziš.
don't change
sve isto, ne menjamo ništa.
anything for a zone. Now
Zbog
we'll
zone.
have some movement,
Imaćemo neke
against the
kretnje
zone.
protiv zone,
but if we attack them
ali ako
while they're
napadnemo
running
zonu,
back,
dok oni trče u odbranu,
we'll get a quick pick and roll,
Namestit ćemo 2 na
still
2
have the same
pick and roll.
thing.
I
Because a
isti
good
stvari.
man for man is a zone. If I'm guarding
Ako ja
him,
čuvam njega,
I don't stand here, I stand up against the
stojim
lane.
tu, nego
So I'm
stojim
in a
tu
zone.
van reketa. Ja sam
Okay.
kao neko u zoni.
So it doesn't change. The principles do not change.
Principi
Now,
iz
if
1
we
na 1
walk
se ne
the
menjaju
ball
sa
up,
zonom.
yeah, zone, you got to attack a little bit differently
Ako
and
ideš
do a couple things.
uz
But
niz
we're not
teren,
going to walk,
moraš da napadneš
so we'll get him
igrača.
in a transition, and we don't worry about zone.
Znači mi idemo na
Okay.
kontrapad i ne brinemo o zoni.
Anybody else with spacing or
Još
pick
neka
and
pitanja o
rolls?
spacingu,
We okay with that?
pick and rollu i tako dalje.
All right. We're going to talk a little bit about fast break.
Pričat ćemo malo o kontrapadu,
Talk about a couple things that I think very important.
neke stvari koje su veoma važne.
We run a fast break,
Kad trčimo kontranapad,
and this starts the whole thing. Obviously, if you steal the basketball or you get a
ili
rebound,
kada
it's easier.
kraješ loptu ili kada uzmeš loptu sa table,
We want to run a
Stop.
fast break after a made basket.
hoćemo trčimo posle primljenog koša.
Obviously, they make too many baskets, and that's not good, but
Ako ne
that's
daje
life.
previše koševa, to nije dobra stvar.
On a made basket, who's my five guy?
Ko je petica?
Let's say he's the five guy.
Posle primljenog koša.
We always tell the five to take it out.
Uvijek kažemo petici da je izvedio loptu,
And this is a big but.
ali ovo je
He
veliko.
might not be able to take it out.
Možda on ne može da izvede.
If my five guy is out in the corner,
Ako je
come here,
petica u uglu,
he's guarding the man in the corner.
čuva čovjek u uglu,
They make a basket.
oni daju koš,
Oops, they make a basket and he's over there.
on je u
That
uglu.
ball drops. I don't want my five guy to come take it and take it in.
Neće
It
se
takes
petica
too
vraća
long.
i izbaci loptu.
So him, whoever's the nearest to the ball
Kogod je najbliži lopti,
grabs it, throws it in,
izvadi
and
loptu
runs.
i trči.
So it doesn't have to be the five guy,
Ne mora bude petica,
but I would like for it to be if it could.
ali to bi
That
želeo,
makes sense.
ako može.
The one thing that we teach about the fast break, other than
Jedna stvar koju učimo u
running
vezi
wide,
kontrapada,
get
sem
in your
trčanja široko,
spots,
popunite svoje
the
pozicije,
first three steps
su prva
of
3
fast
koraka.
break is the key.
Prva 3 koraka
Too
u
many
kontrapadu
times you
su
watch a film,
veliki
the
broj
ball will
puta,
go up,
lopta
rebound,
skok
take it out, and my first steps are
i prva 3 koraka su,
they look and see if there's a fast break.
oni se okrenu i
It's
gledaju da
too
li
late.
postoji kontranapad, to je
We
kasno.
tell our guys,
Kažemo svojim igračima,
as soon as the ball is made,
znači kada je lopta
rebound,
na
or steal, the first three steps
tabli.
have to be a dead
ili
sprint.
ukradene ili skinuta sa table, idete u
And they will
šprint.
come out of the game if they're not running.
I ako oni ne trči, izlaze iz igre. Nemam problema sa lošim šutovima i sa greškama. Imam problema ako oni ne žele
That's
trči.
something that they forget to do.
To je nešto što oni zaborave da urade.
And you can correct that. I can't make a guy, he misses a shot, he misses a shot.
Ako promašiš, ne
He
veze.
comes down and doesn't see somebody,
Ako ne
that's a
vidi nekog
mistake.
kad
I
ide
can live
napad,
with
ne
that.
veze.
I can't
Ne mogu
live
da živim, ne mogu da živim
with
sa
not running.
bez trčanja.
And we will correct that with film.
To popravljamo gledanjem trake.
The other thing on a fast break that we do,
Druga stvar koju radimo u
and why I like
kontrapadu,
skilled guys,
zato volimo igrače
whoever gets
sa
the
dobrom
rebound,
tehnikom, kogod uzme skok,
whoever gets the rebound
kogod uzme skok,
has the possibility
ima
to go.
mogućnost da krene
I
potiskak.
want my big guy not to stand here,
Ne da
look for
stoji
the point
i da
guard,
gleda playa,
finally
nego da
get it
loptu.
to the point guard, and then we go. He will rebound.
Hvata
He can
loptu,
take one dribble
pravi
and
jedan
throw it
dribbling,
to the point. He can
dodaje
take two
playu,
dribbles,
napravi dva
throw
driblinga,
it to the point guard,
daje playu,
but he is going.
ali on
He's
kreće,
not holding the
ne drži i
basketball.
ne dobi loptu.
And does that lead to some turnovers? Sometimes.
To vodi nekim greškama, ali nema veze.
But I would rather that he gets used to going to dribble,
Ali ja
and
bih
we're
radije da
going.
on
We're running as a
da se
team.
navikne na dribla i da krene u kontranapad.
With all that, last year we had the
Prošle
least
godine
or the second least
smo imali
number of turnovers in
najmanji
the whole
broj
league.
grešaka u cijeloj ligi.
Playing at a high speed,
Igrajući ovom velikom
we
brzinom,
had the least number of
imali
turnovers
smo
in the
najbolji
NBA.
broj provatih
We
lopti.
don't turn the ball over.
Znači ne grešimo.
And the reason being, one, they don't worry about if I'm going to yell at them.
Prvi razlog je što ja ne brinem da hoću da se derem na njih.
we shoot in 5 seconds, you don't have time to turn the ball over.
Šutiramo u
Because the first
sekundi,
one's
tako
getting it,
da
shooting it.
nemate vremena da
I
izgledate
don't have to
loptu.
pass the ball 15 times to get the same shot. I could have got 15
Ne moram
passes
da
to go.
odam 15 puta loptu da bi dobio isti šut koji sam imao na početku napada.
And that's important key. Because I think,
Važna stvar.
now this is me. All right, this is what I think.
Ovo je moja
And
ideja.
I respect all the other coaches and they do a great job.
Poštujem sve ostale trenere,
But
nisu
this
dobri
works for
treneri,
me, so
ali ovo za mene
I want to
radi.
apologize if I'm offending anybody.
Hoće se izvinim ako
But
sam
when you
uvredio
see a
nekoga.
team come out and
Ali ako
work
neki
and
tim
work and
izađe i
work and
dodaje
pick
loptu.
and do it, that's the coach working. That's not the players working.
To je trenerov rad, nisu to igrači.
This is a game for players, not for coaches.
Ovo igra za igrače, ne za trenere.
James Naismith,
James Naismith,
who invented
koji je
basketball,
izmislio košarku,
was a professor at Kansas.
je bio profesor na Kansasu.
And Fogg Allen, who was a famous
Fogg
coach,
Allen koji je bio
was his student.
čuveni trener, je bio njegov student.
So James Naismith asked Fogg Allen,
James
What you
Naismith
wanna
ga je
do?
pitao šta želiš da uradiš
when you grow up?
kada porasteš.
And Fogg Allen
Fogg
said, I
Allen
want
je
to
rekao,
coach basketball.
hoće da budem trener košarkaški.
James Naismith said,
James Naismith je rekao,
you don't coach basketball,
ne
you play
treniraš
it.
košarku, ti igraš košarku.
And we've gotten away from that.
I dalje smo od toga sada.
And I think that's very important. The players have to play. It's not about me, it's about the players.
Sad je veoma o kontrolicama, nije stvar u meni, nego je stvar u igračima, oni igraju.
So fast break is nothing more than spacing
Kontranapad je samo
Running.
spacing,
and getting the ball from there down to there in a position to shoot the basketball.
znači da prebacimo loptu u dobru poziciju i da šutnemo loptu.
All right, let's go right now. Thanks, guys. Let's go. Thank you.
Hvala momci,
We're going to talk about practice a little bit.
pričat ćemo o treningu,
What we do at Phoenix
šta radimo u Phoenixu,
and what we did at Benetton and
sve
through
smo
the
radili u
year.
Benettonu.
Again, everybody asks me the difference between the NBA and European
Svi mi pitaju
basketball.
razlike između NBA i evropske košarke.
It's just the money, which is not
Pare.
bad. The players,
Igrači,
bigger, quicker. You don't have as
veći,
much
brži,
time,
nemaš toliko vremena,
but the principles are the same.
ali principi
It's
su
not
isti,
changed.
ništa se ne menja.
There's no reason why a good European coach can't be a good NBA
Nema
coach.
razloga
No
zašto
reason.
dobar evropski trener bi bio dobar NBA trener.
So at Phoenix, what do we do?
Šta radimo u Phoenixu?
All practices,
Same
we
place,
start
man.
next week,
Počnemo sljedeće nedelje.
and we'll have about 1 month
Imat ćemo oko jedan mjesec
to get ready for the
da se
season.
spremimo za
And
sezonu.
once the season
I kad
starts,
sezona
we have
počne,
82 games in
imamo 32
about
utakmice
5 months
u
that we
5
play.
mjeseci.
So the hardest thing to do is to practice a lot.
Najjednostavnija stvar uradite, najteža stvar uradite da trenirate dosta.
We never, again, I know I'm going to offend some people, but we never go 2-a-days contact.
Nikad ne radimo dva treninga u danu.
I don't believe in it.
Ne verujemo to.
We go in the mornings,
Idemo
we
ujutru,
will shoot.
šutiramo,
If you have to lift weights,
dižemo tegove.
if a coach thinks they need a little bit more conditioning,
Ako trener se treba malo kondicije,
but
radimo
we
to
will not
vežbe.
tape and we will not go.
Ali nećemo ići
5 on
full
5.
kontakt u igru. Znači dva treninga
We
dnevno.
explain things in the morning.
Objasnimo stvari ujutru,
The first 8 or 2 weeks we explain things,
prve nedelje ili
but
dve
once
nedelje
we
objasnimo
start to
stvari,
practice,
ali kad
we
počnemo
are
treninge,
going full court.
idemo preko
the whole
cijelog terena, non stop.
We start off each practice
Počnemo svaki trening,
half hour of film,
pola sata,
board, and we teach
znači
them what we
film,
want. We teach them the
crtamo na
spots,
tabli šta ćemo da od
we
njih da
teach
urade.
them spacing,
Učimo ih
and what we
spacingu,
want from them.
pozicijama na terenu i šta ćemo oni da urade.
Once practice starts,
Kada trening počne,
we will not stop them,
nećemo ih zaustaviti,
but we will coach.
ali
It's
ćemo
called
ih,
on the fly. We will coach
učit ćemo ih
in 2 seconds.
u 2 sekunde, sve
But
ćemo
I'm not going
reći.
to sit and talk to them for a long time.
Neću da sednu i da pričaju da sa njima pričam dugo vreme.
The next day,
Sljedećih dana
we'll watch film
gledamo
of what
film,
they did in practice
što su radili na
and
treningu
show them on film what they did wrong.
i pokažemo na filmu što su
And
oni
then we'll
radili
do it
pogrešno.
again.
I onda radimo ponovo.
And we keep doing that for at least the first 2 weeks.
I to radimo najmanje 2 nedelje.
And then it goes back to once a day.
I onda se vraćamo na jednom
Because
dnevno.
you can't in the NBA, you can't do 2-a-days.
Jer u NBA ne može da se radi 2 puta dnevno.
You don't have time.
Nemaš vremena,
It's too hard.
previše teško.
We start the year off, we'll go 2 hours
za
at
2
night.
sata uveče.
Maybe on 2 days when we had 8
Imamo 2
days,
treninga dnevno,
we did 2 hours.
radit
But
to 2
as the
sata
season
uveče.
goes on, it goes from 2 hours to an hour 45 to an hour and a half.
Kako sezona progresuje, smanjujemo
At
vreme
the
sa
end of
2
the
na
year,
1,
we might
45
be
i tako dalje.
going 1 hour 45 minutes.
I onda kasnije možete pređemo na sat
Team
vremena,
basketball.
45 minuta samo timske košarke.
If they need weights, they need shooting, they do that on their own.
Ako treba i
We
tegovi ili
will
neko
work with them
šutiranje,
individually to get better.
to sami radi
But as a
individualna
team, we
tehnika,
go
to sami
45
rade
minutes
takođe,
to an hour.
ali kao tim 45 minuta do sat vremena.
And again, if you're going to be a fast break team
I
and
ponovo,
run,
ako želite budete tim koji igra kontranapad,
rest is very important.
odmor je veoma važan
And everything we do
i
is
sve što
full
radimo
court.
je preko
We do
celog
not
terena.
stop.
Ne stajemo.
And if you run for 45 minutes as hard as you can run,
Ako trčite 45
I
minuta
don't think
koliko
you
god
can go
možete,
anymore.
ne možete više od toga.
Now, if, again,
Ponovo,
when I was with Milan,
kad sam radio sa Milanom,
we had a player who
imali smo igrača
is
koji
used to practicing
koji
4 hours a day.
da trenira 4 sata dnevno.
And so when I explained to him that we only go about
Kada sam objasnio da
no more
treniramo
than 2 hours at the beginning, but an hour, hour and a half,
samo sat i
he
po,
goes, Coach, I need 4 hours.
treba mi
You know, I can't just
4
go an
sata.
hour.
Ne mogu samo sat vremena.
So I said, okay.
U redu,
I mean, you can do it by yourself. We
Možete sam
have
da radiš.
coaches, they'll be okay.
imamo trenera, možete to sa
So
njima da
the
radiš.
first practice,
Prvi trening,
we're running as hard as we can run for
trčimo
about
što
an
smo
hour.
više mogli po sat
And
vremena.
afterwards, he comes to me and goes, an hour is going to be enough.
Kasnije dođe i kaže mi sat vremena je dosta.
Because you I tell you, most coaches
Većina
go a
trenera.
long time because
Idu na,
they're afraid that
Veći-
someone will say they're not working hard.
idu na veći dužinski
And
neke
again,
periode
it's about the
treninga zato
coaches and
što
not about the players.
se plaše da neko će reći
What
da oni
is
ne
best for
rade
the players is what you got
kako
to do.
treba.
Anybody have any questions with this?
Ima li neko neka pitanja?
Any questions? We okay?
Sve u redu?
Let's take a 10-minute break and then we'll come back
A
and
moramo
we'll
10
talk a little
minuta
bit
pa
about
ćemo se vratiti.
defense.
Pričat ćemo malo o
All
odbrani.
right, thank you.
Hvala.
We ready to roll?
Možemo da nastavimo.
Okay. Again, if there's any questions
Dakle,
offensively,
Da li ima bilo kakvih pitanja u vezi sa prethodnim
Yes.
delom?
okay. Uh-huh. Right. You know, we have a strength and conditioning coach.
Dakle, imamo
Whatever
kondicionalnog
he
trenera
thinks is necessary, we do.
i sve što on misli da treba da se radi,
Usually 15
on ima
minutes.
dovoljno vremena
It
na
might
raspolaganju, 15 do
depending
20
on the
minuta,
players.
u zavisnosti od
But
igrača.
me as a coach,
Ali
I
ja kao
rely on
trener,
him.
Ja se
I don't
oslanjam
know
na
about
njega i
conditioning,
ne znam
stretching,
kakve su to vežbe koje se
So I can
rade
trust
u
him.
vezi sa stretchingom, sa svim ostalim stvarima, tako da ja moram da verujem njemu.
You know, just to be clear,
Dakle, treba pojasniti stvari.
we do some things half court.
Imamo neke stvari koje radimo na polovini terena. Imamo odbranu koju radimo u zavisnosti od... Ali trčimo, u svakom slučaju, kad kažem trčimo, možda je to malo preterivanje kad trčimo sve vreme. Dakle, to je... Govorit ćemo o odbrani ako ima još nekih pitanja. Jel možemo mikrofon da damo tamo da mogu pitanja da se čuju? Evo sad ćemo da dođemo. There's another.
I got it? Is that better?
Da li je to bolje?
I tell you, it's better if you don't hear me.
Bolje ako me ne čujete.
I won't screw you up, I'm telling you.
Možda je bolje.
My name is Pat Engelbrecht. A lot of the coaches over the break, I was asking a few of them what they thought of what you had to say, and some of them, I don't know if they've seen Phoenix play. I got an opportunity to watch you guys play quite a bit and see you give interviews and talk about why you guys were so successful, and a lot of people just can't understand that it's that simple. They just they won't accept it, and people were saying, you know, you weren't detailed enough, meaning, you know, how can you just say we're going to play offense in the first 5 seconds and that's that? But when you watch Phoenix play, you guys you'd score in the first 8 seconds of offense most of the time. I mean, when you were playing well.
Right.
A lot of the coaches here want to know, what do you do if you're stopped in the first attack, in the first 5 seconds, first 7 seconds of your offense? Then what do you do aside from screen and roll? And the fact that you were so successful that you had the player, you had the MVP, you had Steve Nash.
Right.
If Nash was to go down, with your philosophy, if Nash was to sprain his ankle or to tear his ACL, you're saying you guys are done, because I mean you couldn't have got this done with Barbosa.
You're right.
Well,
sorry, coach. Can I just translate for the Serbian audience?
Sure.
Sorry, Valerie.
It's okay.
Pitanje je sledeće. To zvuči veoma jednostavno. Vi trčite non stop i kažete da ćete u prvih 5 do 8 sekundi dati koš. To većina ljudi ne veruje, ali vi to stvarno radite. Naprimjer, kada bi Steve Nash bio povređen, šta biste onda uradili? Kako biste dalje igrali? Jer ne možete to sa ovim drugim playerima da uradite. Thank you.
You're right. It's not as easy as it looks. We try to keep it simple. The reason that we keep it simple, I don't think players play well when they think too much. They have to react. We put them in situations that lets them play. And so the first 5 seconds for us is crucial that we do it. But obviously, most of the time, we have to play half court.
Igramo polovini terena.
Now, you know, there's a balancing thing. If we practice all the time half court, then in a game, we're going to play half court. So sometimes I have to give up some execution to keep them running. With a player like Steve Nash, you play better.
Sa igračem kao što je Steve Nash igrate bolje. Ja sam trener godine zato što imam Steve Nash.
I didn't have him, I wasn't coach of the year.
Da ga nisam imao, ne bi bio trener godine. Ali
you can win with Leandro Barbosa.
Ali možete povećati sa ovim drugim Barbosom i sa drugim igračima.
But on your team, you need a playmaker.
Ali u svom timu treba playmaker, neko ko će kreirati te sve situacije.
And it can be the point guard, it can be the center, it can be a forward, doesn't matter.
Krilni igrač, nema veze.
And what we do as coaches,
ono što radimo kao treneri,
you see what you have,
vidiš šta imaš,
and you direct the ball to that guy
i forsiraš loptu na tog čoveka koji može nešto da uradi.
And that's where we have to come in. We change things when Steve's not
Tu
in the
trener
game.
dolazi, kada Steve nije u
We
igri,
change.
menjamo stvari.
Amari Stoudemire
Amare Stoudemire
will be our playmaker when Steve's not in the
bit će
game.
glavni igrač kada Steve nije u igri.
And he will play make from right here.
I on će početi ovde sa posta.
When Amari gets the ball here, which I think is very
Kada on dobije loptu
important
tu na visokom
position,
postu na uglu,
is right
to je
here.
veoma važna
When he
pozicija.
goes this,
Kada
we got a player
dobije,
in
kad se
that
okrene ka
corner,
košu, imamo
we
igrača
have
u
a player in
uglu,
that corner,
u oba ugla,
and we got two guys wide.
i oba
He will make
dva
this
igrača
play
široko. I može probiti
every
ka košu u svaki put.
Now, on your team, if you have no
U
playmakers,
svom timu ako nemate playmakere,
he ain't gonna win.
nećete
Forget
pobediti.
it. You'll get fired.
Zaboravite, otpustit će vas.
That's just the way it is at our level.
Tako je to na našem nivou.
What we do after,
Šta radimo posle?
we don't run.
Ne trčimo,
We will call plays,
proslijedit ćemo neke
try to
napade,
figure out who has an advantage.
da vidimo ko ima prednost.
We'll post somebody up, maybe a guard against a little guy.
Stavit ćemo nekog visokog
just
igrača
flow.
protiv niskog i samo idemo u napad.
The ball has to move.
Lopta treba se kreće,
We have to change from one side to the other
moramo da menjamo se na drugu stranu
and get the ball in a scoring position.
i da stavimo sebe u poziciju za šut, da damo koš.
You know, and I understand that basketball is a very simple
Ja
game.
razumijem da je košarka veoma
I
jednostavna
think we
igra.
complicate it
Mislim da
sometimes.
mi kompliciramo.
And that gets players, we say in America or in the United
Kažemo u
States
Americi da
that, you know, you have your universities.
imate
Harvard
univerzitete.
never wins the championship.
Harvard nikad ne dobija u NCAA-u.
I mean, they got the smartest guys in
Oni
the
imaju
world. They don't
najpametniji
win
ljude na svetu, ali nikad ništa ne dobiju.
because you have to react.
Zato što trebaš da reaguješ.
I found out the more that I tell
Otkrio
my
sam da
players
što više kažem svojim igračima,
what they have to do,
šta moraju da rade
slower they play.
i oni igraju sve sporije.
And when I let them go
Kad ih pustim da igraju
and then teach them little by little,
i onda ih učim postepeno
teach them how to play basketball.
kako da igraju košarku.
I don't want to teach them plays,
Ne želim da ih
but
učim
I
sve
want to teach
pleve.
them how to play basketball.
Želim da ih učim kako da igraju
What is a
košarku.
good shot?
Šta je dobar šut?
You know, one on one.
1-1.
And then for me as a coach, I put them in a position
I ja kao trener ih
where
stavljam
they use
poziciju
their
da
skills
koriste svoju
to
tehniku
be able to score.
da postignu poen.
And, you know, I think as a coach, I work all
Kao
day.
trener radim ceo
You
dan.
know, we have a coaching staff that thinks
Imamo
and watch film
trenere
all day.
koji gledaju trake ceo dan.
I don't want to tell you
Ne
that
želim
we
da
don't
kažem da
practice
ne
hours
treniramo.
and hours.
Satima i satima.
The coaches still do the work,
Ali treneri uglavnom rade
but
veći
the
deo posla.
players will get a condensed version
A
where
igrači
they play.
dobiju skraćenu verziju onoga što treba da rade.
And it's not that simple, you're right.
Nije tako jednostavno, upravo si.
But it's, from a player's point of view,
A sa igračke strane
it's easy to
gledišta,
play, I think.
lakše da se igra.
Anybody else?
Još neka pitanja?
Hope that, but in a half court,
Na polovini terena.
just pick an offense, whatever you
Samo
like.
izaberete napad, šta
You know,
god
if you
hoćete.
like a stack offense
Ako
with
volite
guys
stack
coming off
napad.
the pick,
Gde ljudi izlaze iz
Catch and
blokova, hvataju, šutiraju,
that's fine.
to je u redu.
If you like a
Ako volite
flex,
flex,
that's fine.
u redu je.
Whatever you like as a coach,
Šta god vam odgovara
you
kao
can
treneru,
teach.
učite to svoj igrač.
We have our offense. The only thing I do, I'll show you what we do. We have
Imamo naš
5
napad,
guys.
jedina stvar što radimo, 5
Need
igrača,
five-
5 igrača
five-
nam treba.
Put one in the corner, one in the corner,
Jedan u uglu i
one on
drugi
the post.
u uglu, jedan na postu,
Playmaker come the ball.
playmaker
And the other
ovde
5 guy right here.
i petica ovde. Playmaker
No, playmaker
s druge strane.
I'll just show you what we do at Phoenix. And again, it's nothing great.
Ovo što radimo u Phoenixu nije ništa
Just put him
veliko.
into an organized. You know,
Samo
we
da
like
neku
to say
organizaciju.
that our offense is organized chaos.
Želimo kažemo da je naš napad organizovani haos.
And that's how we play.
Tako igramo.
But the ball's here.
Lopta je na ovoj
We'll
strani,
try to run.
pokušat ćemo da trčimo.
He can come down and set a pick and roll. We
Može
already
doći
talked
da
about that.
napravi blok
He
2-2.
can also do a
Također može
quick.
da krene na
You're
drugu
here.
stranu,
I run down,
na,
come around,
napravi blok igraču u uglu,
go to the corner, go around.
on
You're right
seče
over
ka
here.
košu, pravi curl.
Let me get this here. You're right here with a basketball.
Ti si ovdje
You
sa
go down, set a
loptom,
pick.
ti još dole praviš blok,
We try to get a quick shot.
Pokušamo
Right
da
here, he
dobijemo brz
comes
šut.
off, he's open, he shoots.
Kad dobije loptu, odmah šutira.
He passes the ball. You don't have it. You go.
Ako nemaš, ideš na drugu
Come
stranu,
back to the
prolaziš,
point.
ti se vraćaš na tu na
The ball
pleja,
comes here.
lopta je tu na vrhu,
Give me the ball. Now we play
na
two-man
postu,
basketball.
igramo
And
2-2.
from here, you go all the way to the corner.
Ti prolaziš na
You
drugu
come up,
stranu, ti se penješ
You're
gore,
in the short corner. Short corner. You're in the
ovaj
short.
kratki ugao, dole,
You're right over here.
blizu čajne linije,
You're right there.
evo tu.
And we will keep the floor this way.
I tako
Because it's
raširimo,
important again the
igrači
spacing
po
we
terenu.
talked about.
Spacing je jako važan.
And then this player becomes your playmaker.
I onda ovaj igrač postaje vaš playmaker.
So that's why I have a hard time
Zato imam
when
jako teško
people say
vreme
about
sa
playmaking. I need 5
playmakerima.
playmakers on the
Meni treba
floor.
5 playmakera na
That's when you have the
terenu.
best team.
Tad imate najbolji
If you have
tim.
4,
Ako
you'll
imate
be pretty
4,
good.
veoma
You
ste
start getting
dobri.
down to 3 and 2,
3, 2
and your
playmakera,
team's not real good.
onda vaš tim nije toliko dobar.
So he's the playmaker
On je
now,
playmaker.
and we'll just play two-man
Sad
basketball.
igramo samo 2 na
Come
2.
off, go off, don't get the ball.
Ne
He can
primiš,
go,
ne
go to the
primiš
corner,
loptu,
don't have it, doesn't have to keep
ne
the
primaš
ball.
loptu, ideš u ugao
Now he has to decide what he wants to do.
i sad odlučiš šta će da
Dribble
radiš.
handoff,
Hoće da
okay.
mu driblingom preda loptu,
This way, dribble handoff,
prelazi na
you
drugu
cut,
stranu, ti
you come out of the
praviš
corner,
V-cut, ideš dole
come
ka
this
košu, ti
and
sečeš,
we'll play this
ti
way.
ješ u ugao i se penje
So
gore
you
na
can,
krilo.
1,000 things you can
Imate
tell them
hiljade
to do.
stvari koje možete da kažete da urade.
But usually, I don't call it. I don't tell them what to do.
Ali obično ne kažem
They
šta
make
treba
it
da
up.
radi. Oni
But
sami
it's
izmisle.
important to be space, short
Ali
corner,
spacing je
and then
veoma
play
važan.
basketball. And we will do that. If it doesn't work the
I to
first
ćemo
time
raditi. Ako to
running,
ne radi
we
prvi
do
put,
this.
onda ovo radimo.
That's about all
Ako
we do.
kontra propadne, to radimo. To je u principu sve.
We have come back.
Vrati se nazad,
You're back up here.
ti si nazad.
The other thing we just call this, you'll dribble down, stay in the
Dribaš na ovu
corner.
stranu, ti ostani u
You're
uglu,
here, you come to the
ti se
thing.
penješ gore na kapicu.
Now we reverse the basketball. Go ahead and
Sad
get the ball.
reversiramo loptu.
Get open over there.
Otvaraš se
Right
na
here.
krilu,
You will back cut.
ti praviš back cut,
Here.
većni cut.
If I have an advantage on this guy, I
Okay.
like him. He's a tall player, Joe Johnson.
Sviđa mi se, on je visok
He will
igrač,
post up,
kao Joe Johnson.
and then we'll play from
Igra na
here.
postu,
This will be, if he doesn't get it,
ako ne dobije loptu,
then he gets out.
ide u ugao.
And that is really important to get him out.
To je veoma
So
važno da on
we'll
izađe.
call a play to get him the basketball here
Nećemo
if we want. If he's
dati
open,
takav
we
napad
give
da
it to him. If
on dobija
not, he's
loptu
out.
dole na postu, ako ne,
And then
ide
we
u ugao.
have, you come down,
Onda imamo i dolaziš,
you have a pick here, come on
Praviš
back,
praviš
pick,
blok,
double pick.
dupli blok.
Now when this happens,
Kad se
he
ovo
comes
desi.
off, it's important that he goes hard,
Važno
goes
da
all
on
the way to the
seče
short
i
corner.
snažno
Keep going, keep going,
ide u
keep
kratki
going.
ugao, ide
He's
dolje, ide
open,
dolje.
great.
Dole.
Get the ball,
Ako je otvoren, daš
pop
loptu
out,
gore,
ball here,
reversiramo
come over,
loptu,
pick and roll,
igrate 2 na
then we're in a
2.
pick and roll. So there's all kinds of movement,
Ima gomila
but the
kreće,
spacing
ali
is the whole
spacing je
thing.
u stvari najvažniji.
And you've got to keep telling
I
them
morate da
to
im
stay
govorite
out.
da se
Stay
drže
out.
što šire.
And if you don't,
Ako ne kažete
you're not
to,
going to be real good.
nećete biti dobri.
It gives these guys a chance
Da ima
to
šansu
be able to make a play.
da mogu da sami stvore nešto.
Because it's much easier with
Veoma je
my guy.
lakše
You up here? I got
doći
the
ovdje
ball.
gore.
Sorry.
I
Stay in the short corner.
ostani
Stay
dole,
out.
raširite se.
Then when I come off,
Kada ja izlazim ovdje iz
I
bloka,
have my players out.
ako su igrači
Then I can
rašireni,
make a basketball play. If I'm Steve Nash,
ako sam ja Steve
if they're
Nash,
closer, I can probably do it anyway.
ako sam ja Steve Nash, mogu i dalje da uradim ako su oni
But if
blizu.
I'm not very
Ako
good,
nisam dovoljno dobar,
I need room
treba mi prostor
to be
taj.
able to go
Da
there,
mogu
I can
da
hit here,
dam
pass here,
loptu
throw it
dole,
there, throw it there,
na
you go
drugu
duck
stranu,
in.
ti ćeš se
and we're gonna
ubaciti
play
dole
basketball.
koš.
But again, the
košarka.
concept is spacing. It's
Glavna stvar
nothing
je
else.
spacing, ništa više.
Spacing. Moving the basketball, cutting hard. I think as coaches, we all
Sečete
know
na
that.
košu.
I didn't want to sit here and talk about
Nisam
how
htio
to
da
make a
pričam
cut,
kako da
how to
idete
set
ka
a
košu,
pick.
kako da napravite blok. To je nešto što znate.
At our level, you should know that already. I'm making sure they play hard, they're confident,
Treba se pobrinuti da oni
and make it
igraju
easy for them.
veoma snažno i da
Thanks,
su
guys. Thank you.
da imaju samopoznanje. Hvala momci.
Anybody got any other questions with
Još
this?
pitanja?
Yes. Same thing. Right. Oh yeah, we did the same. I've done the same thing, Benetton.
Radio sam istu stvar u Benettonu.
I hope I've gotten a little bit better.
Nadam sam se popravio.
Well, Steve Nash is maybe better.
Steve Nash je bolji, da.
We do the same thing.
Ali radimo istu stvar u
And
principu.
we tweak it. If I have
Malo
a different
menjamo.
player,
Ako imam drugačije
we'll do
igrače,
different things.
radimo drugačije stvari.
But
Ali,
before Steve Nash came,
ali pre Steve Nasha,
our last 15 games
poslednjih 15 utakmica,
with Leandro Barbosa,
Leandro Barbosa je bio
we averaged
play.
100 points.
Imali smo prosjek od 100
And
poena.
We were 1-8, lost 7. So you can do it with Barbosa. We
Možete da
thought we
radiš
were
sa
coming,
Barbosom,
but Steve Nash makes it easy.
ali Steve Nash je veoma bolji u tome.
You know, just talking about point guards for a second,
Kad već razgovaramo o play-evima,
why does Steve Nash make it easy?
zašto Steve Nash to čini sve lako?
It's the same as having Sasha Đorđević,
Isto
who
kao Saša
for me
Ćosić,
was the
koji je
best
za
point guard
mene
in Europe back
najbolji
when.
play u Evropi u davno.
Because
Zato,
I don't think you can make a point guard.
jer mislim da ne možete stvoriti play-ev.
You can make a skilled player, but
Možeš
that can be
napraviti
anybody.
igrač koji je tehnički dobro obučen,
That can be a forward,
može bude
it can be
četvorka,
a center, it can be a
Center.
point guard.
play.
But what makes those guys special
Ali šta čini te igrače
are three
posebnim
things.
su 3 stvari.
The concentration
Koncentracija,
that they have in the game,
kad igraju,
that they do in practice.
što radi na treningu,
Those guys, Nash practices
Nash trenira
the way he plays.
isto kao što igra. Isto.
The heart
Srce
that they have, and then the balls they have,
i mura,
because they're not afraid.
zato što se ne plaše.
Now, me as a coach, I can mess that up.
Ja to mogu da pokvarim.
I can't
trener.
make it great,
Ne mogu da to da
but I can
popravim,
take a great player and make him bad.
ali mogu totalno da ga upropastim.
I know when I had Sasha,
Kad sam imao Sašu,
my third year of coaching,
kao treći godina
I
trenera,
almost was fired and was gone because I was screwing Sasha up.
za malo sam me otpustio zato što sam uništavao Sašu.
Because there was not a confidence level
Zato što nije postojalo
with him.
pouzdanje,
And I don't
pouzdanje
know,
njega.
maybe it was my first European point guard that I
To je možda bio
coached.
moj prvi evropski play.
Because before I always played
I pre njega
and
sam igrao
coached
samo
United States and Italians.
sa
He was
Amerikancima
the
i
first
Italijanima.
European
Ne prvi
Serbian that
Evropljanin,
I've ever coached.
Srbin koji sam ja bio trener.
And it was me who was screwing him up.
Bio sam ja koji sam ga uništavao.
And I had to step back
I morao sam da stanem
and then
nazad
watch him play.
i da ga pustim da igra.
And so it's important that a coach
I
and
veoma
a
je važno da
playmaker
trener
is
i
on the same
playmaker
page.
su na istoj
That we
stranici,
want the same thing.
da žele iste stvari.
And the only thing, though, you have to be careful.
Jedina stvar koju treba budete
If you
pažljivi,
practice for an hour, 2
ako
hours,
trenirate 1-2
and
sata
they seem to like it and have fun,
i ako im je zabavno,
you have to be careful that the
Morate
players
budete
don't think
pažljivi da
it's a
igrači
vacation.
ne misle da je to raspust,
And
odmor,
that's something I have to fight against.
nešto što mora se
That
borim
when we
protiv.
play, it is very serious in
Ako igramo,
practice,
to je veoma ozbiljno
in every
u treningu i
every
na utakmici.
possession in practice,
Svako
and in the game is important.
posjedovanje je veoma važno i na treningu i na
And they have
utakmici.
to know that. And we
To moraju da
we
znaju.
make a deal. I make a deal with my
Napravim deal
players
sa njima,
that if they play as hard as they can for
Ako
every
igraju
second,
veoma
then we get out.
požrtvovano svaku sekundu.
If they don't, we can stay here 3,
Možemo da
5,
idemo
10 hours.
kući.
It doesn't matter.
Ako ne igraju kako želimo, onda možemo da ostanemo dugo.
So it's very important with that. But I've just been really blessed to have good point guards
Imam sreće
and
da imam
try
dobre
not to screw it
play-eve
up.
i da pokušam da to ne uprljam.
Any other questions? We okay with that? All right, let's go for a second and talk a little bit about defense
Pričamo o odbrani
and
sada
our philosophy.
i našoj filozofiji odbrane.
Again, when I speak of defense,
Kada
it's
pričamo o
funny,
odbrani, bilo je smešno.
but as coaches, Phoenix Suns
Kao trener Phoenix
and
Sunsa,
me, I think about
Yeah.
defense all the time.
non stop mislim o odbrani.
Offense, I don't think about.
Ne mislim uopšte napadu.
And then we practice defense a
I onda
lot,
igramo, treniramo odbranu dosta.
but we're awful defensively and we're really
Ali
good
smo
at
očeni
offense.
u odbrani, a mnogo
So
dobri
I'm
napadu.
thinking about not practicing defense. Maybe we'll get better. I don't
Sa
know.
možda prestanemo da treniramo odbranu pa ćemo biti bolji.
I've pressed
Igrao sam pressing po celom terenu.
with the Phoenix Suns right now.
Sa Phoenixima koji sad imam timu,
Try to contain.
pokušamo da zaustavimo igrača.
Let's get, need 5 offensive
Trebamo i
players,
5 ofenzivnih
5
igrača,
defensive
5
players.
na odbrani.
I'm going to just show we're on the court.
Samo ću
do
pokažem
certain things.
gde na terenu radimo određene stvari.
Who's my point guard?
Ko je play?
All right, go ahead and set up like we did.
Postavite se kao što ste
Guy in
pre
the corner.
postavili.
Guy in the
Ugao,
corner.
čovjek u uglu.
Who's need a
Treba mi neko ovde.
big guy here?
Veliki igrač ovde.
You want to, oh, big guy over there then.
Na drugoj strani.
Okay. I'm going to show you what we try to do globally as a
Pokušat ću da
philosophy
pokažem šta radimo
defensively,
globalno kao
and then as you know,
odbranu. I kao što
it
znate,
changes.
to se menja.
And it changes because in
Menja
the
se jer u
NBA
NBA.
you have certain players that
Imate
you have
određene
to
igrače
have rules for them.
za koje morate napraviti posebna pravila. Ako je ovo Dirk Nowitzki,
We can't guard him like we do somebody else.
ne možemo ga čuvati kao nekog drugog igrača. Ne
The
možete.
players are too good.
Igrači su pretjerano dobri.
So our first thing,
Prva stvar je,
we used to pick up about half court.
pre
I've done
smo
that.
pravili pritisak
But
već na
because this
polovini
is Steve
terena.
Nash,
Ali pošto je ovo Steve Nash,
we now tell players we're picking up here.
sada im kažemo
Around the
da
three-point
preuzimaju
line.
svojeg igrača na trojici.
No pressure.
Bez ikakvog pritiska.
Because if I'm pressuring
Ako idem pravim
with our
pritisak na loptu
players.
sa našim igračima,
here, he goes by,
on proći pored
now
mene
you're in trouble.
i sad si nevolji.
So we're trying to contain
Znači samo
the other
pokušamo
team.
da stanemo ispred njih.
I play face up on the ball.
Či igram licem prema lopti,
I'm face up when he's in this
kad je
position
u ovoj
and
poziciji,
try to stay in front of him.
samo pokušam da ostanem ispred
As he
njega.
gets to the sideline,
Kako ide prema
now I want him to
bočnoj
go
liniji,
baseline.
sad hoće da ide ka autu.
As a coach, if you watch film,
Kao trener, ako gledate film,
players that drive to the middle,
igrači koji idu ka sredini,
they come in the middle,
koji uđu u sredinu,
something bad happens.
uvijek se nešto loše desi.
Pass,
Pas,
pass,
pas,
shot,
šut,
drive,
ulaz,
pass.
pas.
Too many things can go wrong.
Ima mnogo opcija.
If I can make him go baseline,
Ako natjeram da ide uz
Here,
bočnu liniju,
we have help. He can
imam
only pass
pomoć,
this
može samo
way.
da prebaci
Good
loptu na
things
drugu stranu.
happen
I
if I
dobre
make him
stvari
go
se desi.
baseline.
Ako ga natjeram da ide ka out liniji.
You know, for years, and this is just me against some coaches, but they taught me to
Mi
force
treneri su
everything to the middle.
rekli da sve usmerim ka sredini.
On
Bivši treneri
offense,
u
they
napadu.
tell you not to go baseline. They
napadu
tell you to go to
kažu
the middle
da ne ideš
on offense. That's how I grew up.
ka čelnoj liniji, znači da ideš ka sredini.
Didn't make sense.
Nije imalo nikakvog smisla.
If they're telling me to go in the middle on the offense,
Ako mi kažu
why
da
are they
napadu idem
telling me
ka
on
sredini,
defense to
zašto
send
mi
him to the
kažu
middle?
da u odbrani ga šaljem ka sredini?
So we send baseline now.
Znači sad šaljemo ka
Go
out
ahead,
liniji.
you're over here. If he's cleared out,
Ako je prošao na drugu stranu,
my object is to
Moja-
force him to about here.
želim da ga usmerim
I'll let
dole.
him turn the corner,
Ne da prođe
but force him to the baseline,
uz
to
out
the
liniju, znači
corner.
ga kao to čelnu liniju ga
If that's possible,
gura,
go ahead.
ako je
Yeah.
moguće.
We want to do this, keep him down. Now, once he turns the corner,
Ako on prolazi pored mene,
I'll take a step at a time. This guy, go back.
vrati se nazad,
We call this golding,
ovo se zove golding.
and he has to get in front.
On mora da izađe ispred
He has to
frontu posta.
fight him. He has to get in
Mora se
front.
bije, znači da izađe ispred ovog posta dole.
This is good. On the weak side,
Sa strane pomoći
we
sve je
call
dobro.
that an eye.
To je-
Everybody's in line.
To je
You
sve,
got
svi su na
1,
liniji.
2, 3. Now in the NBA, we can't stand here.
U NBA
We
ne
have
možemo
to
stojimo
stand
tako.
here.
Moramo stojimo van
But in
reketa.
Europe,
U
you
Evropi
can do this.
to možete da
And
uradite.
this is great. The weak side should be in here. The
Strana
ball.
pomoći treba bude
If he
na toj
knows the
strani.
ball's going that way,
Ako on zna da
then
lopta
those
ide na tu
guys don't
stranu,
have to worry about it.
onda vi igrači nemate
So
šta
it's
brinete na drugoj
important that he
strani.
has pressure,
Znači on stavi pritisak na loptu,
forcing him to go baseline.
tjera ga da ide ka čelnoj liniji.
He's falling over, excuse me.
On se bije
He
preko,
gets
izlazi ispred
over,
igrača
he sets down
i
on the
seda
guy's
na
legs.
kolena ovog igrača.
That way he can have contact with him. He doesn't have to hold,
Tako da ima
but he
kontakt i
sets
ne mora
down
da ga
on his
drži
leg.
rukama.
And anything that goes over top,
Sve što ide preko
the bottom guy
je zadatak
is
za
ready to steal the basketball.
ovog zadnjeg igrača na strani pomoći.
In the NBA, we have to
U
be
NBA
outside the
moramo
lane.
da se nalazimo van reketa,
We can come in,
možemo da uđemo
and we usually let him stay there.
i uglavnom ga pustimo da ostane
We
tamo u
can
uglu.
stand like this.
i ostanemo
which is
ovako,
okay.
što je u redu.
But we have to touch
A
somebody.
moramo da ga
But
dodirnemo.
Europe is perfect. Europe, it's easy to play
U Evropi je veoma lako da se igra odbrana.
Stay there.
I možete da ostanete tu ispod koša.
Now if he drives baseline,
Sada ako ide ka
he
čelnoj
beats
liniji,
this guy.
prođe ispred ovog
It's
igrača,
important that he's got him. You guys are coming over, everybody below the ball.
a čelo je udvaja i vas dvojica se pomerate.
He'll pop. You try to
On
close it
iskače.
up and trap. You're going
Otvara
to come
se,
over,
ti
get underneath.
dolaziš ovde,
You're ready to rotate, you're ready.
ti
So
se
you're right here.
rotiraš, staviš u sredinu,
The
svi su
ball
spremni.
went here.
Ako lopta ide na ovog igrača visoko koji je
Get back just a little.
iskočio iz boka,
Two things that we do.
dve stvari koje radimo.
We can either rotate
Ili rotiramo,
or we call stunt and get back,
ili povoljno pa se vratimo.
depending on how good a shooter he is.
Ako je on dobar igrač,
If he's not a
dobar
very
šuter,
good shooter,
ako nije dobar
and that
šuter,
ball goes, stunt,
kad ta lopta ide, samo napravi fintu na njega i
he
vraća
would
se na
get
svoj
back,
igrač.
he would get back.
I svi se vrati na svoj igrač.
That's how we play it. Now if he's a great shooter, if that's
Ako je
Nowitzki,
dobar šuter kao Novicki,
pass the ball to Divas, Nowitzki, whoever.
Divas Novicki
He
pogod,
pulls,
on dolazi njega
you
preuzima,
gotta pull, you
ti
gotta
izlaziš
pull.
ovog igrača na kapaci i ti trčiš, sprintaš na igrača u uglu.
So we do it that way. And we will practice this every day.
I to vežbamo svakog dana.
And we want to do the same thing.
Želimo da radimo istu stvar svakog puta.
The only difference is when
Jedina razlika je kad neko šutne,
we're going.
idemo
And we're
u
going to run
kontranapad.
down and back.
Trčimo
and
znači
we'll
u
set it up
kontranapad
again.
i onda nazad i onda postavimo odbranu.
All right, let's go. Okay, ball back. You're
Lopta
weak
nazad,
side.
ti si na strani pomoći,
Stay.
ostajte na ovoj strani, ostajte na tamo
Big
strani,
guys over there.
ti si na ovoj strani,
All
na,
right, sometimes you see this. Maybe this guy pick and roll.
možda ide 2 na 2, ne sad,
Comes down. Now if he beats him,
ako ga on
the
prođe,
bottom guy has to rotate.
ovaj posljednji igrač u obrani
The bottom guy always rotates.
rotira,
Stop him.
zaustavi igrača koji ide po košu,
We call that cracking back. If a player hears the terminology
Okay.
crack back,
to
he's
zovemo
got to set on
cracking
his
back.
legs.
Morate
He's got to set on
stavite,
his legs. He's in
sedite
here.
njegove noge,
And what happens is the ball goes out.
Lopta
The
ide
center
u
of the
ugao.
corner. This player right here
ovaj igrač
has to
ovde
take the first pass.
mora da uzme prvi
So
pas.
I'm in here. As soon as that ball goes, I'm
Čim ta lopta
gone.
krene, ja idem na
Because
igrača
he's
u
in
uglu.
here fighting this
Jer
big
on
guy.
ovde se bije sa ovim igračem
can't
ispod
get back
koša
to
i
his
ne
guy.
može se vratiti na
He
igrača u
can't
uglu.
do it. So he's fighting. I'm in here.
On
The
se
ball
bije tu za
goes. I'm
poziciju.
gone. So if I come here with this,
Ako dođem
do
tu na
this,
igrača u uglu,
now you're coming out. If he
ti
gets back
izlaziš
great, you
na
might come here and
igrača
he goes
u
there.
uglu.
But we're playing it. Okay? Is that pretty clear?
Razumete?
And again, we'll do that every time, not just one time.
I to
Let's
radimo
go back.
svaki put, ne samo
Go
jedno.
back.
Aj ponovo da radimo.
Is there any other situation? Then the other thing
Još
we
jedna
have
situacija koju imamo,
is a pick and roll.
2-2.
Now the pick and roll is the hardest thing to defend, like
Pick and
you
roll je
said.
najteža stvar koja može da se brani.
Is the hardest thing, is the easiest thing, or the best offense.
Najbolji napad.
On the pick and roll, we've done everything.
Pick and roll radimo razne
We've
stvari.
trapped it.
Igramo
We've gone
trap,
under.
idemo ispod
We've
bloka,
showed and got back.
i samo izađemo na sekund pa se vratimo.
And some things work, some things don't.
Neke stvari rade, neke ne.
A little bit of it depends on the player you're playing against.
Zavisi od vašeg napadača.
So let's talk about what we do at Phoenix.
Šta radimo u Phoenixu sljedeće?
And what we try to do is he's sending baseline.
Znači šaljemo ga kao čelnoj
This
liniji.
man is ready to rotate if he turns the corner.
Ovaj igrač je spreman da
We go
rotira
back,
ako
stay
ga
there.
napadač
As he
probije.
comes over, come over.
Kako on prolazi,
Now the big guy
sad ovaj veliki igrač,
needs
centar,
to be in between the basketball.
mora se naći
and the basket.
između
We're
lopte
going
i
to bring
koš.
him down. And as he goes over,
Kako on pomaže,
we call this black.
ovo se zove
So
crno.
he's on him, he's down.
On je dole.
What happened to drive?
Ako on prolazi, ti se spuštaš,
You pop.
ti
You
izlaziš gore, ti rotiraš,
All right, go back.
vrati se nazad.
If this guy's
Ako
here
ovaj igrač je tu
and he forgets,
i zaboravi
I'm your guy right now, I'm you. If he forgets and he's not in a good position,
i
come.
nije u dobroj poziciji,
If he's here, I use my hands
korazim svoju ruku
to pick right here.
da držim
So I
blok
can
što
go
dalje,
under.
da mogu da prođem ispod
You're
bloka.
back in there
Ti
zoning
si
it
ovdje
out.
u zoni.
So he's always doing the same thing,
Uvijek
no
radi istu
matter what
stvar,
I do.
zavisno, bez obzira na to što ja radim.
Now the other way is I'm here, you
Druga
go.
stvar, na primjer, on
I
je
try to
tu
get
jedan
through.
preko bloka.
I didn't get through. You
Ako
have
ne
to
prođem,
zone it.
ti
Guy
pomažeš,
will go,
ovaj
and that's not
prvo
good.
prema košu, to
You
nije
have
dobra
to
stvar.
rotate. Go get
Morate
back and
rotirate.
do it. Okay. So what we try to do,
Što pokušamo da uradimo je,
the big guy does the same thing
veliki
every
igrač
time.
radi istu stvar
He
svaki
does
put.
not have to think.
Ne mora
He
da
has
misli.
to- If he has to think,
Ako mora da misli,
he's in trouble.
onda u nevolji.
All right, one more time, you're on the ball.
Još jednom ti
You're
si na
going
lopti,
down.
ti
Now
ješ
he will
dole,
yell, black, black,
on će
black.
kaže black,
Get
black,
up a little bit.
crno.
All right, and we play this way. Now, where we get in trouble,
Kad smo u nevolji,
and this is the tough part.
to je
You see
težak
this?
deo.
Go down just a little bit.
Spusti malo dole.
They will set a pick like this.
Namestići blok ovako,
Go this way.
ili na ovu stranu,
All right, stop.
stani.
And we have trouble with Ginobili.
Imamo problema sa
Go
Ginobili
right through there
koji ide na levu stranu,
with his left hand, and he's got this, he's got that. He's
ima
got a
toliko
tongue.
opcija,
We couldn't stop that
ne
last.
možemo to da zaustavimo, nismo baš prošle godine.
The only way I know to stop Ginobili would have a gun and shoot the guy.
Jedini način da zaustavim Ginobili je da ga upucam,
Because he's going to get where he wants to go.
jer može da ide šta god hoće.
But as we do that this year, you're coming. He says
Kako ovo radimo ove godine,
this way,
namesti blok
there you
ovako,
go.
ti
This
prođeš,
player has to
ovo
get
igrač
this, come
mora
here.
da se probije i da zaustavi
We're
program.
not going to let him go left.
Nećemo pustiti da ide u
Now we're
levu
trying to
stranu.
go,
Usmeravamo
trying
ga
to
ka
corral him,
čelnoj liniji.
cut,
Ti sečeš ka
and
košu,
then you got to be there,
ti
you got
mora
to be there,
pomogneš,
you
ti
got
mora
to be there.
ostaješ u reketu,
The weak side,
na strani pomoći,
on every cut, go
na
back, let me
svakom
be you.
sečenju ka košu.
Do this again, yeah.
Ponovo radite to,
Go,
idi,
cut,
seci,
go. I've got to be here just like this. I got to hit him.
strana
and
pomoći
go.
mora da
Make him
čekira
go
igrač.
behind you.
Ide ga natera da
He
ide
goes
iza.
behind you, pass him off, you come up,
Ako on prođe pored tebe, ti ga ostaviš drugom odbranom igraču,
and then we just
izlaziš
play
na ovog
out of it.
spoljašnjeg. I onda igramo normalnu obranu.
But that's a drill,
To je
pick and
vežba
rolls. We'll do
Pick and
every
roll.
day,
koju radimo svakog
and
dana.
then we run.
I onda trčimo,
Shot, whatever, we
šutiramo,
go.
bilo šta je. Idemo
We
u
go up and
kontranapad.
down,
Idemo
do it again. Up and
gore,
down,
dole.
do it again.
Non stop ponavljamo.
Anybody any questions on this? so
Pitanje u
far?
vezi ovoga,
Everybody's got it?
svi razumiju, nadam se.
You know, for years you guys didn't play defense, but y'all doing better now.
Vi prije niste igrali obranu, sad ste bolji.
Help and recover, yes.
Help and recover.
We call that stunning, yes. Depending on who it is, they have to know shooters in Europe.
Zavisno od toga ko igra napad.
It's almost everybody you got to go because everybody can shoot.
Svi mogu šut kako možete, morate pomažete.
In the United States, we got guys that can't make shots.
U Americi ima igrača
So you
koji
just
ne
have
mogu
to
da
stun at
ubace.
it and you stay home.
Ja samo pomognete sekund i vratite se nazad. A u Europi morate pomažete.
That's why we have trouble a little bit in the Olympics.
Zato smo imali problema
We
na
have big guys that
olimpijadi.
can't shoot.
Jer smo imali veliki igrači koji ne mogu da ubace
And
ništa.
I'll tell you, Europeans just spread them out. And
A
cover.
Evropljani samo ih rašire i onda ubacuju iz polja.
Anybody else?
Još neko pitanje?
See what else. The biggest thing that we work on a lot and talk a lot
Stvarno koju najviše radimo
is the weak side.
je strana pomoć.
Go back over again. These two guys are playing
Vratite se
together.
nazad, vas dvojica igrate zajedno.
This is key to a good defensive team is your weak side.
Strana pomoć je glavna stvar za dobar defensivni tim.
And again, I touched on it before. You'll be right
O
here.
njoj sam pričao ranije.
We put guys always in an eye.
Stavimo igrača uvijek kao i.
Any kind of cut, if he cuts, cut
Ako
the
on seče
basket,
ka košu,
then this guy would be here to
onda
hit.
ga ovaj igrač
You
čekira,
might see it, you might
Ako ga
not.
vidiš,
You would take him, that's fine.
preuzmeš.
If he doesn't take
Ako ga
him,
ne
I'm gonna
vidiš,
take him,
ovaj
switch,
igrač u sredini ga
and he's ready
preuzima,
to go out.
preuzmete igrača i ti ideš na ovog igrača u uglu.
But where we have most of the problems
Da ima najviše problema je
is that as a player goes through, if I'm
kako
looking
igrač
this
ide
guy,
dole,
let me have the ball.
daj mi loptu, molim te,
Come here, you guard me.
ti me čuvaš.
You off a second. If I hit here
Ako dođem tu
and I go through,
i prođem,
and as I go through,
kako idem ka
he
košu,
turns his head
on okreće glavu
and comes this way.
i prati me.
That's bad defense.
To je loša odbrana.
Something happens, he's not ready
Nešto
to
se
play.
desi na suprotnoj strani, on nije ništa video.
We have to constantly
Moramo non
tell our
stop.
players, go ahead and make that pass. Where's my guy? You make the
Vrati se
pass.
za.
Yeah, you go ahead and make the pass. You're off a second.
Ti dolaziš i daješ pas.
You go ahead and get down the low post.
Spusti dole nisko posta,
Get the ball here.
uzmi loptu i
Pass
Daš
it in.
pas na
I'm
stranu.
off right now. You're off it. I'm
Ja-
here. You're here. Obviously, the first thing to do, you got to go to the ball and
Moraš da se odvojiš od igrača, da vidiš igrača i loptu, trougao.
And here's where we get in trouble. You got to be in there, you got to be ready, and he's cut. I got to be here, go.
Ti prolaziš,
and I'm in this position.
ja sam u ovoj poziciji, mogu tu stojati non stop.
I'm watching, you
Ja
keep him on
gledam,
that side.
gledam loptu.
If he keeps him on that side, I'm okay.
Ako je na ovoj
If that's him in the
strani,
middle, then I'm a little bit more
ja sam u
trouble.
redu. Ako on probije u sredinu, onda sam u nevolji.
But it's important to stay on this side of the floor,
Važno je ostati
close it down,
na
and
strani
get
terena,
moving.
zatvoriti igrača.
Okay? Any other questions?
Još neka pitanja?
We have a handbook,
Imamo knjigu
and our defensive principles
o našim defensivnim principima
that we talk to the players each day.
o kojim pričamo sa igračima svakog dana.
You know, one thing that's my pet peeve
Jedna od mojih stvari koje najviše volim
is that how people run on the floor.
je kako ljudi trče na terenu.
And we do it, and it's a constant yell.
I mi to
But
radimo, a ja
if
non-stop
you're
sam
here
gledam.
playing offense,
Dok vi igrate napad
and you shoot it,
i šutite,
and then you go like this.
i ja trčite ovako.
Happens all the time.
Desi se non-stop.
I mean, there's no reason for that.
Nema razloga za to.
There's no reason not to sprint back.
Nema razloga zašto ne bi se
Turn
sprintali
around.
nazad, okrenete se.
And we talk to our players. There shouldn't be any transition. The way we play,
Ne bi trebalo bilo bilo kakve tranzicije.
but if you run back
Ako
and
trčiš
get in
nazad
position,
i postaviš se u poziciju,
then you're a lot better off. So our
onda
first
si mnogo
rule
bolje.
is to sprint.
Naše prvo pravilo je sprintamo
Offense to defense,
iz napada u odbranu,
defense to offense.
iz odbranu u napad.
Second rule is direct.
Drugo
Keep the ball to the side.
pravilo je dirigujte loptu i forsirate na jednu stranu.
We don't overplay this pass.
Ne igramo na ovoj strani.
We want the pass to come here.
Želimo da pas dođe tu, znači ne
I don't want my
zastavljamo pas.
players overplaying.
Ne želim da igraju tako da
I just think too
zabranjuju
many
pas.
back doors,
Postoji mnogo
too many things
backdoora,
happen.
mnogo stvari se desi.
A pass from here to here does not hurt you.
Pas
The
sa ovog,
penetration that kills you is
znači pas
this
ne povređuje samo
coming in
ulaz,
here. It's the penetration from the
ulaz
top to
sa
the middle.
sredine terena.
So we want to keep the ball on the side.
Želimo
Once
da
it's here,
loptu zadržimo na
we
jednoj
keep it
strani.
here.
Dok je sad, kako je na toj strani zadržavamo je tu.
Third rule, talk.
Treće, pričajte.
You constantly have to talk.
Morate uvijek da pričate.
And that is the hardest thing for NBA players to talk.
I to je najteža stvar za NBA igrače da pričaju.
It doesn't even matter if they don't understand you.
Nema veze da li vas ne razumiju,
Some kind of dialogue.
ali morate da pričate.
Pressure, I got him. Force, here, I'm
Pritisak,
here.
imam loptu, tu sam.
Low post,
Niski post,
black, gold.
black, gold.
We have all kinds of words to help.
Razne reči imamo koje nam
But you have
pomažu,
to talk.
ali morate pričati.
That's one thing that
To je jedna stvar koju
in practice,
na treningu
coaches
Treneri.
like to talk.
mi veoma volimo da pričamo.
And I have assistant coaches
I imam pomoćne trenere
that we are yelling at guys, get up on him,
koji se
pressure,
deru na
force
igrače.
baseline, black, gold, and the players don't talk.
I igrači ne pričaju jer
Because the coaches are doing all the talking.
jer trener pričaju ne
So
uspije.
then the game starts,
I onda utakmica počne
nobody talks.
i niko ne priča.
And that's something that we try to not do as coaches.
I
We
to je nešto
say,
što pokušavamo da ne radimo
we're
kao
not
treneri.
talking,
Nećemo pričamo,
we want to hear the players talk. We
hoćemo
gotta
čujemo
practice
igrače
that.
kako pričaju. To se mora vežbati.
We pressure the ball
Izlazimo na
when we
loptu.
think it's the moment, the right moment. If I have the ball here, where's the ball?
Gde je lopta?
Come here, right here, you got the ball. If he's here,
Ako je on tu
picked up his dribble, I'm all over him.
i on je znači zaustavio s
If this
driblingom,
is-
ide na njega.
Depending on who this is, if I'm faster, I
Zavisno
can
ko
be
je
on him.
ovo.
If this is Tony Parker, I may be back
Ako
here a little
sam ja
bit.
brži mogu da izađem njega
So we
pritisak,
just
ako je on
don't
Tony
say
Parker ja
pressure
se
the ball,
oduljimo od njega.
but we pressure the ball when the ball is
Ne
threatening.
kažemo samo da idemo pritisak na loptu,
And
nego
it's
samo stavimo
important to know the
pritisak
difference.
kada je to potrebno, kada smo u opasnosti da primimo koš.
We deny
Znači
all post catches. That's why we play in front,
zabranjujemo
play three
bilo
quarter,
kakvo primanje lopte u
do
post.
this way, sit down
Zato
on it, we do not want the ball to come in here,
zaustavljanje tu na
because
post.
that will kill your
Jer
offense.
ne sme post primi loptu, to ćemo ubiti.
Now, having said that,
Kad sam to rekao,
can't get him to do it.
Ne mogu da ih nateram da urade
I've
to.
got big guys there.
Imam veliki igrači koji to
Stand like this, the ball
s pravim
goes in.
kolenima,
That's why we're bad defensively.
lopta uđe na posta, zato smo loši
Underneath, you
odbrani.
watch the Phoenix Suns.
Gledajte Phoenix Suns,
Underneath, we're awful.
ispod koša smo očajni,
But maybe we'll get better next year.
ali možda ćemo se popraviti sljedeće godine.
Another thing we do is pursue penetration.
Što radimo je
So if
pratimo
this guy
ulaz.
penetrates,
Ako ovaj igrač uđe na ulaz,
throw the ball back over here.
prebacimo na drugu stranu.
We talked about it. If he penetrates,
Ako on uđe na
go,
ulaz,
then everybody is coming over.
svi idu
Go this
pomognu.
way. He's here. You're here.
Ti se
You're over
skupljaju.
here.
Ti se
And
ideš
this
ovde.
is cracking back. Your responsibility is knock him off the rim,
Tvoja
and we're
odgovornost
all
je da
back in the
ga
lane.
izbaciš znači sa koša.
Again, I think that's the key to good defense is the weak side.
Znači strana pomoć je glavna stvar da
We
dobro.
try to contest all shots.
Pokušamo da izađemo na sve šuteve.
My coaches keep a stat.
Moji treneri drže statistiku.
Every shot that they shoot,
Svaki šut
how
koji
many
oni,
times we have a face in somebody's
na
hand.
svakom šutu koliko puta imamo ruku na lopti ili na glavi.
And we want to contest at least 75 to 80% of all shots.
Znači 75 do 80% šuta želimo da
And
izađemo.
at halftime, if our stat says we're only contesting 50%,
Ako kaže da on
then we have a
izlazimo samo na 50% šuteva, to nije dobro.
and then the last thing is to
I posljednja stvar je
box out
da zagradimo
and pursue the basketball.
i idemo ka lopti.
We once had a player in Italy say,
Jednom smo imali igrača
We were
koji je
yelling at
rekao,
him,
rekli
"Box
smo se
out."
njega, sagradi,
get the rebound.
uzmi skok.
And he said, Coach,
Treneru,
I can either box out
mogu ili da zagradim,
or I can get the
ili
rebound.
da
I
idem po
can't do
loptu.
both,
Ne mogu oboje da uradim istovremeno,
which is kind of strange.
što je malo čudno.
But I tell our players
Ali
that
kažem našim
they
igračima
should
da
know where the basketball
treba da
is.
znaju gde je lopta.
If you box out, that's
Ako
great.
zagradite, to u
But
redu,
the biggest thing is pursue
ali
it.
najveća stvar je
As
da
soon as we get
pratite
it,
loptu.
We're gone.
Čim je dobijemo u posledu, idemo na drugu stranu.
You know, we had an interesting stat
Imali smo interesantnu statistiku
last year
prošle godine
with the Phoenix Suns.
sa Phoenixima.
The first 50 games,
Prvih 50 utakmica
we were out rebounded by 20 or more
imali smo
rebounds,
20 ili manje,
36 of those
20
50
skokova ili
games.
više, to je manje do protivničke ekipe.
But we won 30 of those games.
Ali dobili smo 30 tih utakmica.
We try to get
50.
better at rebounding, but again,
Pokušamo se popravimo u skoku,
we
ali
think it's more important to run.
veoma
take
je važnije
good
da trčimo
shots.
i šutnete dobro.
We worry about rebounds, but you know what?
Brinemo o skokovima, ali
We do the best we can do, but we're not going to sacrifice.
radimo najbolje što možemo.
Sometimes playing small, playing quick.
Ali nećemo to da žrtvujemo. Ponekad radimo brzo, igramo sa malom postavom. Hvala.
Just the last thing, and then you ask questions.
Posljednja stvar, možete pitati pitanje.
You know, a lot of times,
Mnogo puta
and I was accused of it in Benetton, playing small.
teretili su me sa tim u Bentonu, znači igra sa malim igračima.
And we don't want, I don't as a coach want to play small.
Ne želim kao trener da igram sa malim igračima,
And my best teams are when
ali
we
moj
have big
najbolji,
guys.
moj najbolji tim je kad imam
But
veliki
those
igrači.
big guys
Ali
have
ti
to be
veliki igrači
skilled.
moraju da imaju dobru tehniku.
And if you get skilled big
Ako imate
guys,
dobre obučene
then you win.
visoki igrače, onda
But if your big guys
pobeđujete.
are not skilled,
Ali ako su vaši visoki igrači drva,
we go small.
onda igramo malo.
We will only
Small
put
postav.
4 to 5 guys
Samo stavljamo
that
4
are
ili 5
skilled all the time, can shoot. I mean, shoot,
igrača koji imaju dobru
pass, and
tehniku,
run.
koji mogu da šutiraju, dodaju i trče.
and then we play.
I onda igramo.
Anybody have any questions?
Neka pitanja?
Yes. Hi, folks. We try to 3-quarter, deny.
Znači,
We'll stay, but
3/4 terena
you know, a high post, if you're out pressuring,
na visokom postu. Ako idete
then
na
it's easier
pritisak
to get in there. So
Lakše
we're
da se
backing back, almost
uđete.
like a zone.
na visokom postu,
We're
znači
back
igramo
in
kao
this
neku
area.
vrstu zone, tu oko
And if this
trojke.
guy can push him out,
Ako ovaj igrač
there's not a
posta
lot of
može da ga
space.
izbaci,
so
znači
we'll
za
3-quarter it. We
Posta.
won't gold it,
ima
obviously,
malo
but
prostora.
we'll 3-quarter, just
Igramo
try to
znači
deny
3/4 terena,
any post.
pokušamo zaustavimo
Because
da
that is a
prijemo lopte na
penetrating
post.
pass.
Jer ako je probije
And anytime the
igrača,
ball goes north and south,
znači kako god
you have
lopta,
trouble.
kako god da
If it
lopta
goes
se
east
dodaje
and west, you're
severa na
okay.
jug, onda je okej. Ako ide na jednu ili drugu stranu, onda nema problema.
But we won't allow a catch in there, supposedly.
Znači nećemo im dozvoliti da prime loptu tu na finalu.
Yes.
Pitanje u vezi odbrane. Šta radite
Question regarding
kada
defense.
igrač koga čuva Steve Nash se spusti na niskog posta?
guarding Steve. What do you do when the player guarding Steve Nash goes in the low post?
It's a good question.
Good question. Dobro pitanje.
Steve Nash says immediately help.
Steve Nash odmah se dere pomoć.
What we do, come back. Who we got? But you know, that's okay. Just stay there. You're okay. You're
U redu
okay.
je, ostanite tu. Ne morate izlaziti. U redu je.
When Steve Nash is in the low
Kada je
post,
Steve Nash na niskom
first
postu,
thing he tries to fight
prva stvar počne
and
se
get in front.
pokušava se probije
And we
ispred
have the weak
igrača.
side behind him.
I onda je strana
helping.
pomoć iza njega da mu pomogne.
That doesn't work all the time.
Ako to
They
ne
just
radi,
throw him out of the way.
to se ne radi većini slučajeva, samo ga izbace.
Once he gets the ball,
Ako on dobije, taj igrač
then we
dobije
will
loptu,
double team.
onda ga udvajamo.
And we double team
I
different
udvajamo
ways.
na različite načine.
You know what? I'll go through this. Let me have
Ajde,
5
dođite,
defense,
5 u odbrani, 5
5
igrača u
offense
odbrani
again.
i 5
Sorry.
igrača u napadu, izvinite.
Let's go. One guy in the low post,
Jedan na
One guy
niskom
up here.
postu, jedan ovde,
one guy over here, one guy
Yeah.
in the corner,
jedan igrač tamo,
and
jedan u
one guy in
uglu,
the short corner.
jedan igrač u kratkom uglu. Napad treba jedan igrač u uglu.
Ball over there. Go ahead and get in the corner. You over here. Okay. Most post play is like this. Now this
Većina
could be a small guy. Oh, sorry. This could be a small guy.
može bude mali igrač
Could be
ili
Steve Nash. Could
Steve
be a
Nash,
big guy.
veliki
This
igrač,
could be
bilo
Shaquille
ko.
O'Neal
Može bude
against
Shaq,
Amar.
protiv
We have
Amara.
to give him help.
Moramo pomognemo dole.
And how do we do that?
Kako to radimo? Či
So,
lopta doće dole,
first thing, he tries the front.
pokuša da izađe ispred
you in the back.
napadača,
So let's do that. Get in
sa
front.
strane pomoći iza.
You're in the back.
Ti si tu iza.
Now, if we're like this,
Ako
most
smo u ovoj
teams
poziciji, većina timova
him. Go on.
će staviti ovog igrača flash na posta,
Depending on who this is, because if I go up with him,
zavisno za ko je ovo,
this goes.
može da se doda low pass i onda smo mrtvi.
So we have it where I stay, you go
Ja ostajem tu, ti rotiraš,
come up,
ti pomažeš gore,
staying here.
Ja
If that's
ostajem
a
ovdje.
shooter,
Ako je to
then
šuter,
we'll rotate.
onda rotiramo.
If that's a non-shooter,
Ako to nije neko ko
he'll stay
šutira,
back, you passing the ball,
on može se vratiti nazad,
stay back in here.
ja ostajem ovdje.
And there'll be a stunt, get back, I'll
Znači
come
ti
back.
samo napraviš fintu, pomogneš i onda se vratiš na svoj igrač.
So that's how we would like on paper,
Tako bi željeli idealno da igramo,
but usually
ali uglavnom
he can't front.
ne može da izađe ispred napadača,
Ball's here, go back.
lopta na strani, ti se vrati nazad,
Ball goes in,
lopta uđe unutra,
so now we have a choice.
sad ima izbor.
Tim Duncan,
Ako je ovo Tim Duncan,
he will score every time, right?
daće koš svaki put,
Every time.
svaki put.
We can't allow that.
Ne možemo to dozvoliti.
So we do 2 or 3 things.
Što radimo 2 ili 3 stvari.
This guy cuts.
Ako ovaj igrač seče koša,
Cuts. You're in front here, you're on this side.
ti si sa ove strane,
He cuts. You're here touching. You're ready. You're ready.
svi ste spremni
Immediately he goes and double team.
i on u istom trenutku ide da udvoji.
Takes it whatever. He goes out
Kogod ovdje preuzme igrača
and you double team.
i vi udvojate.
Just a little bit for your spacing on offense.
Zbog vašeg spacinga u napadu,
This player
ovaj igrač
has to come over here
mora da pređe na stranu lopte
to give him a look.
da bi mu dao liniju dodavanja.
There. This.
Ako ostane tamo, to je veoma lako.
If he comes over
Ako izađe na ovu stranu,
here,
odbrana je tu na
you're
postu,
there. You ready? Ball
ti
goes
si spreman, lopta izlazi
through there
na
as quick
trojku,
as you can.
ti izlaziš na njega,
Out the bottom. You're coming up.
ti izlaziš na
Second,
krugu,
sorry, you're big. You'll be up.
ti izlaziš gore na igrača, ako on prebaci loptu na drugu
All the
stranu
way out.
i ti trčeš na igrača u uglu.
And we'll rotate that way.
I rotiramo na taj način.
Rotate. Come back.
Vrati se nazad,
Come back.
vrati se nazad na ovu poziciju.
For us, the easiest way
Za nas najjednostavniji način
to
da
double the post
udvojimo
is from
posta
a cutter.
je
Want them to
od
cut.
igrača koji znači seče ka košu.
Now they've gotten smarter.
Sad su se ono opametili,
He doesn't cut.
znači ova lopta
Kind of
ne
goes over
seče.
here. He's a
Ide
great
ka uglu,
shooter.
on je dobar šuter.
This guy's a great shooter. So now we come from the,
Sada sa posta,
we call this the nail.
sa
And so this guy's
nailom,
always
sa
on the
eksera,
nail.
on je
He's
uvijek tu
ready
na,
to hit. He goes and hits.
ide da udvoji.
You got to come up. And this player has the first pass. The
Znači
player
ti
has
se
to go
penješ gore,
here.
imaš prvi pas.
Then
Pas
he
dolazi na
goes.
trojku, on
You
izlazi,
have to go And then you come back
Ti
to the
izlaziš na
sky.
ovog igrača na krilo,
back.
ti izlaziš na igrača na niskom
Ball
bloku.
back.
Vrati se nazad, lopta nazad.
Ball back, everybody's back in spots.
Vrati se nazad na svoje
Double team it.
pozicije, ko udvaja,
Okay, he doubles.
udvaja.
Ball goes way over
Lopta
here.
je na drugu stranu,
He's got the first pass.
on ima prvi pas,
You're right there.
ti si tu na
come
postu,
back here.
ti izlaziš gore na
And we
kapicu.
work on that stuff so they can do it
I to radimo
naturally.
dok oni ne mogu to prirodno da urade.
So they don't have to think about it.
Ne moraju da misle o tome.
Ball comes back here.
Vrati loptu nazad.
So if this is Steve Nash,
Ako je ovo Steve Nash,
or if it's Shaquille O'Neal,
Ili
or
Shaq,
these
ili-
guys, we do the same thing.
isto to radimo.
Does not change.
Ne mijenja se.
Now a lot of times we'll do this. Just it gets a little complicated in the NBA,
Ponekad je komplikovano NBA.
and the reason it gets complicated
Razlog je,
is because you have players
imate igrače.
that if you don't do something will get 80 points.
Ako ne uradite nešto protiv njih, ubaciti 70 ili 80 poena.
You have guys like Nowitzki
Imate igrače kao Novicki,
that can score every time he touches the ball.
koji mogu svaki put da daju koš kad prime loptu.
So we have to play them different ways.
Stoga moramo da igramo njih na različite načine.
Another thing that we'll do, if this is Steve
Jedna stvar koju moramo da radimo,
Nash,
ako ovo Steve Nash dođe ovde
and for whatever reason,
i
pick,
iz kog god razloga ti namestiš blok, izlaziš ovde
we switched.
i smo preuzeli onda.
You know what? This is a hard one.
Ovo je teško.
Come back.
Vratite se nazad.
Come back here. You stay in the corner there.
Ostani u uglu.
High pick and roll. Come back.
Igrate visoki
I'm
pick
sorry.
and roll.
Ball here. Ball here.
Lopta ovde, dajmo loptu.
Come right here. Come on up here.
Vrati
Stay
se nazad.
there.
Ostani tamo.
Okay, we're okay.
U redu je.
A lot of times there'll be a high pick and roll.
Biće visoki pick and roll.
So you go,
Ideš,
switch. We
preuzmete,
had a switch. They knock Steve down.
sruši Steve
Go out a little bit. Dribble. Then he starts to rotate.
i on
Now,
počne da rola ka košu.
you're back in the corner. You're in the corner.
Ti si u uglu.
You're all the way over a little bit.
Još malo.
As he goes down, we have Steve Nash on him.
Kako on se
This
spušta s
player
tim
will
jaša
come
njemu.
in, a bigger player, he
Ovaj
will take
visoki
it
igrač
and
će
knock Steve Nash off. So when they're taking
sa strane
Steve,
pomoći doći i preuzeti Steve igrač. Ako spusti Steve na posta,
bump him off. And then he'll go to the
bacit će
outside
ga
guy.
odbrana sa strane pomoći i on će ići na suprotnog igrača na krilu.
And again,
Još jednom,
defensively you can do pretty good
defensivno možete
because coaches have plays that we've scouted.
dosta dobro
And that's
doraditi.
why we try
Jer mi
not to
gledamo
have plays.
protivnički timove, njihove set plays i možete protiv toga se branite.
Any other questions?
Još neko pitanje?
Yes. Take away their money? No, you can't do that. He asked me about motivating the players, to get better defense.
Kako da motivišemo igrače da igraju bolje odbranu?
That's the hardest thing.
To je najteža stvar.
Yeah. That's the hardest thing. Well, we have Amari Stoudemire.
Imamo Mare Stadamara.
We're about ready to pay Amari Stoudemire $90 million,
Spremni smo platimo $90 miliona,
which is
koje
crazy.
je nevjerovatno.
Amari Stoudemire can't guard me.
Stadamar ne može mene da čuva.
How do you motivate? Yeah, we're going to give him $90 million. Why does he have to guard anymore?
$90 miliona, zašto mora nekog da čuva?
It makes it tough. It makes it
Veoma je
really
teško.
tough. But
Ali,
he wants to be a champion.
ali žele da bude šampion.
And we do it by just working with him, trying to get him a little bit better.
Znači, znamo da popravljamo postepeno,
But you can't make him,
ali ne možete ga naterate.
you can't, in Europe, you can kind of sit on him.
U Evropi možete sedeti na njega da ga naterate da
It ain't
uradite.
working with them.
Ne radite u Americi.
You can't do it. He said, he goes, if ever the day that Amari Stoudemire goes, Coach, I'm not listening,
Svaki dan kada Stadamar kaže neću da slušam treneru, znači kad taj dan doće, ja sam gotov.
because Amari makes $90 million,
Jer Amare pravi $90 miliona,
it becomes a business decision.
to je poslovna odluka.
And that's why coaches change in America.
Zato se treneri menjaju u Americi.
And it's tough.
Veoma je teško.
But I have to push him
Ja
to
moram
play him a little bit
da igra odbranu malo.
without killing him,
Bez toga da ga ubijem.
because he will kill me.
Jer će on mene ubiti.
And that's, the hardest thing in the NBA is
To je najteža stvar u NBA, kako da motivišete.
82 games.
82 utakmice.
These guys play a lot.
Ovi
They
igrači
play
igraju
hard.
dosta, igraju teško.
And it's not easy sometimes because one night, Monday night,
Ponekad, primjer,
you're guarding Nowitzki.
ponedjeljak uveče čuvate Novickog,
Wednesday night, you're guarding Duncan.
sredu čuvate Duncana,
Friday night, you're guarding Shaquille O'Neal.
čuvate Shaka.
Tuesday,
utorak
you had appearances. Wednesday,
imate neke
you
nastupe,
had a crisis. And they would,
sredi imate takvu
Shaquille,
krizu.
if you don't play well, he might kill you.
Ako ne igrate dobro protiv Šeka, on vas može ubiti.
It's tough. It's not easy.
Veoma je teško.
Yes.
Oh, Charlie, put your question in Serbian, okay? Iz aspekta vaše odbrane, da li uvek na isti način branite pick and roll ili zavisi od napadača?
From the point of your defense, do you always defend the pick and roll in the same way, or does it depend on who's playing on the offense?
Definitely depends on who's playing.
Definitivno zavisi ko igra na odbrani.
Yeah. You know, shooters, non-shooters, we go under. Shooters, we go
Ako neko ne
over.
može da ubaci, idemo ispod bloka, ako neko može da ubaci, idemo sa spoljašnje strane bloka.
During the game, I might say this.
Za vreme utakmice mogu kažem to.
We trap pick and rolls.
I onda udvajamo pick and roll.
We'll switch it up.
Menjamo stvari uglavnom.
We have a basis,
Imamo osnovu koju radimo
but then it switches.
i onda se to menja u zavisnosti od igrača.
But speaking of pick and roll,
Kad smo već kod pick and roll,
I've seen Steve Nash.
vidio sam Steve Nasha,
They've tried everything.
da su pokušali sve protiv
They
njega.
go under,
Ispod,
they go over,
preko,
they switch,
preuzmu,
they double.
udvoje,
He gets us a shot every time.
on svaki put ima slobodan šut.
Yeah, jump switch. It doesn't matter with him because
Nema veze sa njim.
you jump switch Steve Nash.
I ako uskočite na njega da mu pomognete, on će zaustaviti na sekund,
Get everybody that?
raširiti sve i proći u sredinu.
He's amazing. He's amazing.
Nevjerovatan je.
Anybody else?
Još neka pitanja?
Yeah. We'll just throw it over there. No, go ahead, and that way.
Sorry, I can hear you.
There's no sound. Yeah. Uh-huh.
Ničem ništa.
Right. 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 He's asking me, did you hear?
Sorry, I didn't hear anything.
He was asking me that, do I think that kind of putting everything in a transition game, whether that will work in a national team or Final Four, and play that way.
Ok, pitanje je bilo da li ako se državni tim ili na Final Fouru u Americi, ako se sve bude igralo kao kontranapadom, da li će to imati rezultate?
Right. Yeah, he was saying no one's won playing small ball in the NBA for the last decade.
Niko nije u posljednjih deceniji igrao small ball u NBA.
And I agree, it's not easy to win, first of all. But I think that the way we play maximizes
Nije lako povediti sa small
what
ballom,
our team can do.
ali to kako mi igramo može da
And
maksimizira ono
if
što
we're good
naš
enough,
tim
we
ima.
will win an NBA title.
Ako smo dobri i dovoljno dobri osobi,
If I can
osvojećemo NBA.
motivate Amare
Ako možemo
and
motivišemo
different
Amara
players to play better defense,
i razne igrače da igraju
We'll
dobro
win.
odbranu, možemo da dobijemo.
Yeah, I think we can. Obviously, I think we can because I wouldn't do it.
Mislim da možemo.
But I do know one thing.
Znam jednu
The
stvar.
fans love the way we play.
Igrači vole kako mi igramo i oni plaćaju karte.
And we can't lose sight of we're still entertaining people.
Mi smo stvari zabavljači, ne možemo to da zaboravimo.
And that's what the NBA is a little bit about. Because if people don't come to the arenas,
I tome se NBA radi, ako
we're not going to be very
fanovi ne
good
dođu
as
u
an
arenu,
organization.
nećemo ništa postići kao organizacija.
You know, sometimes it's kind of crazy because they do get up and down out of control.
To nekad je malo ludo jer idu s jedne i drugu stranu terena bez ikakve kontrole.
But we try to teach the players how to play.
Ali pokušamo da naučimo igrače kako da igraju.
Just a little story.
Mala priča jedna.
We had Quentin Richardson.
Imali smo Quentin Richardsona.
And Quentin Richardson we had a game Friday, Saturday,
Imali smo utakmicu u petak, subotu i ponedjeljak.
So Friday,
u petak,
Quentin Richardson takes 17 threes.
Quentin Richardson je šutnuo sa trojke za 17 puta.
And he had about 35 points.
Imao je oko 35 poena.
On Saturday he takes 16 threes.
Šutnuo je 16 puta za trojku.
Then on Monday he only had 6 threes.
I u ponedjeljak imao samo 6 trojki.
And he's pissed off he only had 6 threes.
I nervira se što samo imao 6 trojki.
And it's like, you can't win.
Ne može da dobiješ ovo.
Steve Nash against Dallas, semifinals.
Dallas u polufinalu.
One game, he comes out. So Dallas, to win,
da bi pobedio,
our pick and roll, they're going to let Steve Nash do what he does.
Oni će pustiti Steva da radi što
god hoće,
ali neće da rotiraju.
They're staying on shooters.
Ostaće na šuterima.
And they're letting Steve Nash. So Steve Nash comes in,
ulazi,
right here, shoots, pad, whatever. He has 49 points.
Radi što god hoće i ubacuje 49 poena.
But we lose.
Ali mi izgubimo.
So Jerry Colangelo,
stoga Jerry Colangelo,
big boss,
moj veliki šef,
goes, what are you going to do?
Pita me šta ću da uradim.
I go, what are you talking about?
O čemu pričaš?
He goes, well, Steve Nash,
they're
just letting him shoot.
Dozvoljavamo da šutne kako hoće.
I go, yeah?
Pa?
And he goes, well, you know, we lost.
Pa znaš, izgubili smo.
And he gets 49 points.
A on je bacio 49 poena.
And I told him
ja mu kažem
that Dallas's philosophy
Dallasova filozofija
was to let our best shooter
i da pusti našeg najboljeg šutera
shoot a 15-foot shot.
Šutira sa 5 metara.
It's like a layup.
To je kao polaganje.
I can't do anything better defensively. I mean, offensively.
Ne mogu ništa bolje da uradim u napadu.
So the next night,
Sljedeće,
they did the same thing.
Znači, su isto radili.
He gets 39 points.
Ubaci 39 poena i mi dobijemo.
So what I'm trying to say is,
šta pokušavam da kažem je, nemojte mnogo komplikujete.
What they give you, we
take. Što vam daju, vi uzmite.
If they want to close him up,
ako hoće da zatvore, šutirat ćemo trojke.
That's where Quentin Richardson shoots 17.
To je kad Quentin Richardson šutne 17 puta.
They close him,
ako njega zatvore,
then we get dunks.
onda dobijemo zakucavanje.
Amari Stoudemire last year
had prošle godine
350 dunks.
Imao je 350 zakucavanja.
Given by Steve Nash.
Što mu je Steve Nash dao. Samo trčanje.
Sean Marion had 258.
A Sean Marion imao 258.
The number 2 and 3 on all dunks. We had 500 dunks.
Broj 2 i 3 u svim zakucavanjima. Imali smo 500 zakucavanja samo tako trčeći.
And I do think
I mislim da
we can win a championship.
Da možemo da osvojimo titulu, iako to pre niko nije radio sa small ballom. Hvala.
I told Vladi's playing for Sacramento.
Vladi igra za Sacramento.
Before he retired 10 years ago.
Prema što se povukao pre 10 godina.
So Vlade, he and Stojakovic were coming by.
Stojakovic su igrali.
And so I said he was a free agent the next year before he went to Los Angeles.
Da, pa pitao sam ga ako je on slobodan igrač.
And I said, Vlade, why don't you come to Phoenix?
Šta ideš u Phoenix?
I will let you practice very little.
Trenaš malo.
You can smoke when you want to.
Pušiš kada hoćeš.
And shoot threes.
I šutiraš trojke.
He said, sign me up.
Potpiši me.
But he didn't come.
Ali nije došao, prešao u Los Angeles.
Anybody else?
Još neko?
Yeah.
Kao pravite plan za treniranje ako ste na put igrate od kuće?
We do the same, you know, I have a routine.
Imam rutinu neku
And I like my players to have a routine.
i želim da igrači imaju istu rutinu.
We don't change.
I to ne menjamo.
I don't like surprises.
Ne volim iznenađenja, tako pravim planove za trening.
But if we're on the road
Ako smo znači na putu
and we have a game at 7 o'clock at night,
i imamo utakmicu 7 uveče,
then in the morning
onda ujutru
at 8 o'clock,
oko 8
coaches will meet.
treneri se sastanu
We meet for 2 hours
oko 2 sata,
and we prepare and we have film about the other team
spremamo se, znači gledamo film o drugom timu, scouting neki
and go over everything that we want to do as a team.
i pređemo preko svega što ćemo da uradimo kao tim.
Then the team will get together.
Onda se tim skupi,
We go to shoot around,
idemo znači da šutiramo
and for an hour
i oko
we
sat
go
vremena.
through our offense.
I za sat vremena prođemo znači kroz svoj napad,
We walk through everything they do,
prošetamo znači kroz sve to što treba da urade
and hopefully they know the game plan.
i nadam se da oni znaju što treba da rade za
Back to the
utakmicu.
hotel,
Vratimo se u hotel,
get lunch, hang out.
znači ručamo
At 4 o'clock,
oko 4 sata,
the first bus goes over.
prvi autobus ide na
First
utakmicu,
bus is all assistant coaches
prvi autobus je znači svi pomoćni treneri
and all players that need to shoot,
i svi igrači koji treba
work with
šutiraju,
weights.
rade sa tegovima,
The ones with weights don't play,
oni sa tegovima ne igraju,
and the shoot one-on-one.
igraju 1 na 1,
And
šutiraju
then coaches will work with them for
i
2
trener će raditi
hours
s
on
njima
the court.
2 sata na terenu.
Second bus is
Drugi
at
autobus
5 o'clock
je u 5 sati.
or around there. Get to the arena,
Dođemo u arenu
and then the first players get off the court.
i ovi prvi igrači
And then Steve
beže s terena i onda Steve Nash
Sean
i sve ove
Marion
zvezde
come in and shoot for a half hour,
uđe i šutiraju,
work up a sweat,
poznaju se
and
malo
then get ready for the game.
i spreme se za utakmicu.
And then as soon as we play,
I
we get on a bus, we get on a plane, and we go home.
čim završimo utakmicu idemo na autobus, avion i kući.
And then the next day, no game, we'll
Sljedeći dan
practice.
bez utakmice, znači treniramo,
Coach will get together an hour before practice
trener će se
for
skupiti
an
sat
hour and a
vremena
half.
pre treninga, radit će oko sat i pol na treningu i
It's the
onda
same thing every day.
u principu ista stvar svaki dan.
But players do a lot. They have
Igrači rade
community.
dosta, imaju svoje neko
They do a lot
društvo
of things in the community, and they
u
have.
svom okruženju,
They're businessmen. They got things they
imaju
have
su
to do
poslovni ljudi,
for charity.
imaju za neke
And
dobrotvorne
so they don't
svrhe
lay
da rade
around. They're
stvari.
working all day.
Ne leže tu po kući, ne rade neke stvari.
Question over here. Right. He said the first thing was, what's the difference between Steve Nash and Stephon Marbury?
Koja je razlika između Steve Nash i Stefan Marbury-a?
The difference is Stephon Marbury is a great guy,
Stefan Marbury je odličan čovjek,
but playmakers, I found out growing up when I played,
ali kad sam ja igrao,
playmakers are two ways.
playmakeri postoje na dva načina.
The one playmaker, like Stephon Marbury,
Jedan play koji je kao Stefan Marbury,
will come down
koji znači ide u napad
and you see him, you know he wants to score.
i kad ga vidite znate da on će da
So you
koš.
got to defend him.
Zato morate da igrate odbranu na njemu.
Next time
Sljedeći put
he comes down,
on ide u
all
napad,
he's going to do is pass.
sve što će da uradi je da doda loptu na stranu. I sve znate unapred.
Steve Nash
Steve Nash s druge strane
will come down
će ići u napad
and he's going to make a play.
i on će nešto
He can
napraviti.
score, he can pass,
Može da da
but he's going to do
loptu,
the
može da
right
ubaci.
thing.
Uradit će pravu stvar, neće imati nešto preurađeno.
He can read the situation.
Znači može pročitati tu situaciju.
And that is a talent that you cannot
I
teach.
to je talent koji ne možete da naučite.
And some players, Djordjevic,
Đorđević,
and different ones, have
različiti,
that talent.
imaju taj talent.
And as a coach, you can mess it up, but you
Kao trener
can't
možete to da
invent
pokvarite,
it.
ali ne možete to da izmislite.
And then the last thing was Jerry
I
Colangelo,
posljednja stvar, Jerry Colangelo,
how he's going to get the United States
kako će da pripremi
to play
Ameriku
better. I
da igra
don't know.
bolje, nemam pojma.
That's hard.
To je veoma teško.
National team's not easy.
Državni tim nije laka
As you
stvar,
know.
kao što znate.
To get everybody to play well
Će svi
together,
zajedno da igraju dobro,
to put their egos on the
da
side,
stave svoje ego na stranu.
because you now, we take LeBron
I sad
James,
imate LeBron
Carmelo
Jamesa,
Anthony,
Carmela,
Kobe Bryant,
Kobe,
Amari Stoudemire.
Što sve svetski igrači.
Everybody's a star and everybody wants the ball.
I svi hoće loptu,
We got one ball.
ali imamo samo jednu loptu.
So we'll see. It'll be
ćemo.
interesting.
Biće veoma interesantno.
Not easy.
Nije lako.
Yeah.
Kako rotirate u odbrani kada je probijen Nash?
How do you rotate on defense once the offense breaks down Steve Nash and goes by him?
That happens a lot.
To se dešava često.
But the thing we tell Steve, again, it just comes down that we want to keep him out of the middle. So we tell
Znači,
Steve,
kažemo Steve da beži iz sredine, da tera igrača na
he can
stranu.
push him to the side. If he can't push him to the side,
Ako ne može
one
ga
out.
tera na jednu ili drugu stranu,
Go ahead, you stay in the corner.
ostani u uglu,
Big guys over here.
veliki igrači dole,
One big guy, you're in the corner.
ti si u uglu,
You're in the corner.
idi u ugao,
You stay up here.
ti ostani ovdje gore,
Let's say we're like that. You on him.
ti si na ovom niskom postu.
If Steve's out here with his player,
Ko Steve ovdje s svojim igračem,
okay, I'm Steve
on je
Nash.
Steve,
Go beat me.
prođi me,
He beats me. So right here, we're in trouble.
ovdje smo u nevolji.
We tell this player
Kažemo ovom
to
igraču,
stunt,
znači da pomogne na sekund
and then he's going back.
i vrati se na svog
Because we
igrača.
don't want Brent Berry or
Ne želimo
somebody
Brent Berrya
sitting
ili
here.
da stoji tu na
Bam.
strani i čeka šut.
We don't want that. But he has to stunt and make
Ali
him
mora da
think
napravi
he might
fintu na
pass.
sekund kao da će
This
pomogne i on se
guy
vrati nazad.
We'll rotate over. So
Ovaj
as
igrač će
he's
da rotira
coming,
jer kako on ide, kako
he's got to
ošao,
stop the ball,
mora da
block the
zaustavi
shot, something,
loptu,
take a
blokira ga.
charge.
Primi faul u napadu,
He has to crack back on his legs,
on mora
gotta
se
get in
spustiti
his
na njegove
legs.
noge
and you're ready for a first pass.
I ti si
Pass
spreman
goes
za
there, he
prvi pas.
goes, pass goes there. And the biggest problem is go.
Najveći problem je ako ti ideš,
This is good offense. Is
Ovo je
when he
dobar
comes
napad.
baseline,
on dođe do out linije
the
i
guy in
svirne
the
pas
corner
u
is the
koren
most
na trojku.
dangerous, and he's got to be below and try.
Ti
Now the
moraš
ball
se
goes
spustiti,
out,
znači tu na
then
nivo
you'll go
lopte.
out. The ball goes in the corner.
Ako lopta ide u
you'll get
ugao, ti ideš na igrača ugla, ako ide na krilo, ideš na krilo.
But again, we try not to get beat, but
Ali
that will happen.
pokušavamo da nas ne probije napad, nego da to se dešava.
But if everybody's ready, you can rotate. You
Ako se
can do
spremi,
a good
možete
job.
rotirati i uraditi dobar posao sa tim.
Anybody else? Yeah.
Još neko pitanje?
Yeah.
Izvoli.
Right. He was saying, when did we think that we were going to be good last year?
Kada ste počeli misliti, kada je Phoenix počeo da misli da će biti dobri prošle godine, kad su počeli da imaju vere u sebe?
You know, we thought after the first 10 games, we thought,
Posle prvih, znači 10 utakmica, mislili smo mi sami da ćemo biti veoma dobri.
but the problem is
Ali
that
problem je,
everybody kept saying it won't last.
svi su govorili da to neće trajati dugo.
And you just got to keep telling your players,
I samo morate govoriti
It will
igračima
last.
da će to
and
da
it's mostly
potraje,
psychological,
jer to je sve u glavi.
and just doing it.
I samo nastavite da radite.
But this year, I think they believe that we can do it.
Ali ove godine oni su imali veru u
We just got to
sebe
go.
i samo radite na tome.
We weren't ready to win a championship last year,
Nismo bili spremni prošle godine da osvojimo šampionat,
but we're ready this year.
ali ove godine smo spremni.
So we'll see what happens.
Vidjet ćemo što se desi.
Anybody else? Yes. Hey. Well, here's, you know, my basketball,
Moja vrsta košarke,
I learned more in Europe than I did in the States.
znači ovu košarku što sam
No
ja
doubt.
učin, više sam učio u Evropi nego u Americi.
I learned it as a player,
Učio sam kao igrač
but then as a coach, I was able to become head coach
i onda kao trener,
immediately
bio sam znači glavni trener odmah
and take what we do in Europe.
i preuzmem ovo što smo učili u Evropi.
And you have to modify it. Not everything works in Europe.
Morate malo da menjate jer ne radi sve u Evropi kao što i radi u Americi.
But I think it's harder for an American coach to come to Europe
Ali teže američkom treneru dođe u Evropu
instead of a European coach going to America.
nego suprotno.
I think it's easier
Veoma je lakše.
because a lot of it is personal relationships.
Jer veliki deo toga je ovi lični
And
odnosi
Europeans are better at it.
i Evropljani su bolji u tome.
molim vas, kako branite prodor sa vrha reketa kada protivnik igra u formaciji 1-2-2?
How do you defend the penetration from the top of the key if the offensive team is playing 1-2-2?
1-2-2. Get in here. We'll play the same way. 1-2-2. You want the guys in the corner
Hoćete igrače u
or
uglu
near the basket?
ili hoćete igrače u uglu ili bližu koša?
Let's go 2 big guys in
Dva
here.
velika koša, dva velika igrača.
Side. Like this.
Hoćete ovako ili...
First of all, we'll try not to get beat. That's major.
Prva stvar, znači nećemo dozvoliti
If he
ulaz.
gets beat here,
Ako ga prođe,
we'll do the same thing.
radit ćemo istu stvar.
Usually he will,
On će,
you know, well, it depends. Depends on how good he is.
zavisi koliko je dobar igrač u uglu i ovaj igrač dole.
But he gets stunned
A
and
može
get
da
back.
pomogne na sekund da se
Keep
vrati,
coming.
kreni na
You're
ulaz.
taking the charge.
Ti znači
Then you'll have to crack
faul
back.
napadu preuzimaš,
You'll be in here. The ball might go out there.
spuštiš
You have to
dole,
recover and go back.
morate se povučete i da preuzmete.
Go back 1 second. Go back.
One more time, vratite se
Go
nazad.
back to the corners. Get to the corners, big guys.
Igrači, ovi veliki igrači uglove.
But the main thing is we want this guy to be in here. Come in here.
Dođe ovde, ovaj prolazi na ulaz.
We don't want him to come here. If
Ne
it's
želimo
like
da on
this,
dođe tu na...
we will probably let him make this pass,
Pustit ćemo da je doda ovo lopta na stranu i on će ja ga usmerim
and I'm going
ka
to force him
liniji.
baseline. That's probably what we
baseline.
do. If it's a great shooter,
Ako je dobar šuter,
we'll think of something else. But
nešto
it
drugo ćemo
depends on
izmisliti.
the personnel.
Zavisnosti od kojeg igrača imate.
But that's go back with the ball.
Vrati se nazad sa loptom.
That's why I don't like to get up there too close.
Zato ne želim da
We'll be back in here. If he's not a great
pritiskam
shooter,
loptu previše,
you'll
da
have to hit that
spusti se
shot with the
dole.
hand,
Ako je on dobar šuter,
and
mora
we'll
da
play
da
right
to
there. I
preko
kind of
ruke.
like that, and make
To mi
him
se
make
više sviđa.
shots.
Znači ja ga nateram da on da koš preko ruke.
Because most coaches will
Jer-
get mad at the point
jer
guard
će-
if he comes right down and takes a
Trenera
shot.
će
Don't
se
worry about it.
naljutiti na ovog igrača ako
If he
sam samo
misses the first
ide u
one, the
kontru i
coach won't
samo
let him
šutne.
shoot the second one.
Znači trener mu neće pustiti šutne drugi put, stavit će ga na klupu.
So we'll guard it that way. It'll be a stunt, or we'll just make him kick it.
Ili ćemo znači tu pomoći na sekund ili ćemo mu dodati da dopustiti da ova lopta na stranu.
Yeah. Yeah. Vlade, I want you to show what we did, what you guys did at Sacramento. High post on the elbow.
Žele Vlade Divca pokaže šta je radio u Sakramentu sa visokim postom na, znači,
You on the elbow.
na uglu posta.
A lot of stuff that we do in Phoenix,
Sve što radimo u
I
Phoenixu
stole from Sacramento. They
je
were the
ukradeno
best
od
at it.
Sakramenta, što su najbolje radili.
While I was in Europe,
Kad sam bio u Evropi,
I would watch Sacramento play,
gledao bi Sakramento kako igra, Dallas,
and I love the way they play.
i sviđa mi se kako su oni
And I
igrali.
learned from them.
I učio sam od njih.
And he's the best
On je najbolji
because he's the playmaker.
zato što je on playmaker.
And that's the difference, you know, when you talk
I to je
about point
razlika.
guards,
Ako pričate
Vlade
o
Divac is a point
playmakerima,
guard.
on je playmaker.
He just doesn't start the play, but if I've
On
got to
ne počinje
play,
napad.
we go here.
Dodamo
You know, the
loptu
whole
tu.
thing we said about Vlade is two things.
Sve što smo rekli, Vlade, znači
He
dve
has the
stvari.
ball like this,
Ako ima loptu ovako,
we're up on him.
čekiramo
As
ga
soon
tu.
as he turns and
Ako
looks,
se
we're
okrene,
back here.
odstupamo od njega.
Because his late passes will kill you.
Jer njegovi pasovi će vas
If I'm
ubiti.
going by and he fakes it,
Ako napravi fintu
and this pass right here will kill you.
i doda tu, to će vas
And
isto
we stay off of
ubiti.
him.
Znači, igramo
Because
dalje od njega.
we'll make Vlade shoot it.
Natjerat ćemo ga šutira.
The other thing Vlade does really well that we
Druga stvar
had to
što Vlade
watch,
radi veoma dobro je
how you turn into me.
dok se okrećeš u
I'm
mene.
on defense, ball's here. As I try to get over,
On
he
pokušava
turns,
proći, on
and he
napravi
gets
pivot
him every time.
i
And then
svaki
I'm
put se
late,
zblokira i onda ja kasnim.
and then he throws the pass.
I on dodaje loptu ovome na backdoor.
We would work for hours with Phoenix against him. And what we do
To
when
bi
Vlade
radili,
has the ball.
Satima, znači kako da igramo odbranu protiv Vlade
I'm
Divca.
just glad he's retired now. We'll have
Drago
to
mi
work
što
his
se on
hard.
povukao iz košarke.
Anybody else?
I još
Yeah.
neka pitanja?
Možete li da kažete nešto ukratko o defanzivnoj tranziciji, znači tranziciji u odbranu vaše ekipe?
Can you tell me something about defensive transition? Once the opposing team is playing the fast break, how do you defend that?
You know, we have arguments.
I Imamo razne
with
rasprave
my coaching staff,
sa mojim trenerima,
that we need to practice transition defense.
ali moramo da vežbamo odbranu u kontranapadu.
And I keep telling them,
I pričam im non stop.
the best defensive transition defense
Najbolja odbrana protiv kontranapada je
is to run back.
da šprintate nazad.
That's where the problem is.
To je problem.
Especially the big guys.
Posebno sa velikim igračima kada trče, to je
If I'm a big
snažno.
guy,
Ako sam ja veliki igrač,
we have one rule for big guys,
ima jedan pravilo za visoki igrač.
is that even if your man's running here,
Iako vaš igrač trče tu, ne možete trčite pored njega.
ball's up there,
Lopta je ispred, morate trčite
below
pod
the
koš.
ball, in the lane,
U reket znači.
and you've got to turn around so you can see the ball.
Znači
Once
možete
you do
vidjeti
that,
loptu. Kad to uradite,
transition defense is easy.
odbrana protiv kontranapada je veoma laka kad to uradite.
Where you get in trouble,
U nevolji ste ako
guys are just loafing back.
džogirate tako nazad.
He's going all over the place.
I vaš post igrač
Can't do it.
seče kao god hoće.
So